Dog host as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios, here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. As you could imagine, this is a very special show. This is the only job that I ever wanted to have. I remember the first day that I ever heard sports talk radio, and I was 10 years old, and I decided that this is what I wanted to do for a living. And I never would have imagined that I would be able to sit here and get you guys ready for a Super Bowl as the Kansas City Chiefs are looking to do what no team has ever done in the history of the National Football League, and that is win 3 of them. My name is Carrington Harrison. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be here. Rob is here as well, taking you up until 6 o'clock. Coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, we will be joined by Christopher Mad Dog Russo. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we will be joined by Nate Taylor, who covers the Chiefs for The Athletic. There are not going to be a lot of frills today. We are going to help get you ready for Super Bowl 59 and the most important game in the franchise for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I want to begin today's show with this. I've told you guys as the week has progressed that I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs. I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game 26-20, but I want to dive in a little bit deeper on the how and why I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. And as I was getting ready for the show today, there was a cut that just kept playing over and over in my mind, and it was from our conversation with Elliot Shore-Parks. He covers the Philadelphia Eagles. He is their insider for WIP, and he said something in closing that has really stood out to me as getting ready for this show. This is what he said yesterday when we were getting ready for Super Bowl 59.
I think they're dead even. Like the Eagles, even at quarterback, even at head coach. I think the roster, the Eagles probably have better skill players, but I think Kansas City obviously is a team that has a ton of talent and wins all the time. So for me, it comes down to who's more likely to make the mistake. And this is probably where we'll disagree, but I just don't see the Eagles make mistakes to lose games. It just rarely happens this season. In fact, I can only think of one time it happened this season. So both teams, I think it'll be very close. I think, wouldn't surprise me if this game went to overtime, but I'll just bank on the Eagles making one less mistake. And so I would pick the Eagles to win this game about 33-30.
So I was really giving it some thought about what he said and why he was picking the Philadelphia Eagles and the belief that Philadelphia would win this game because of a Kansas City Chiefs mistake. And I went back and I really did a deep dive on the most recent games for the Kansas City Chiefs and the ones that they've lost. Now, they haven't lost a lot in the last 18 months or so, but the last 2 games that the Chiefs lost, in the game against Buffalo earlier in the season, not counting the season finale against the Broncos, we all know that game doesn't count. The game that they lost against the Buffalo Bills, that was a team that didn't have Charles Omenihu. That was a team that didn't have Jalen Watson. That was a team that didn't have Isaiah Pacheco. That is also a game in which Patrick Mahomes threw for less than 200 yards. So you are telling me if you are picking the Philadelphia Eagles, you are betting that Patrick Mahomes will play poorly in this year's Super Bowl. I don't know why you would think that. From a miraculous comeback against the San Francisco 49ers, from an historic drive against the Philadelphia Eagles with the bad ankle, from 2 game-tying and a game-winning drive in last year's Super Bowl, you were telling me that you believe that Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for 175 yards in this game. I'm not buying it. Everything about Pat's energy with the conversations that I've had with him throughout the last year have been centered around them playing in this game. You remember the video, he is standing on the podium. He is standing there with Travis Kelce, one of his best friends. He is standing there with the player who we thought could be a free agent in Chris Jones. And before they leave the field, I mean, they are still in their jersey. They've got the shoulder pads on, and they are talking about playing for a three-peat. Fast forward a year, you have your opportunity to go out and play for a three-peat. I don't think Patrick plays poorly in this game. I don't think this game is about the Chiefs making a mistake. This is about the Chiefs being outplayed by the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, I haven't seen too many teams beat that. So that is one of their 2 most recent losses. They lost to Buffalo earlier in the year, and Patrick Mahomes didn't play well, and the Chiefs weren't healthy. The Chiefs are a completely healthy team this time around. And they also, I believe, are going to have a better version of Patrick Mahomes. Well, what about the time before that? That was Christmas Day, 2 Christmases ago. They lost to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders had 2 defensive touchdowns. They had a pick 6, and they also had a fumble 6. This is a team that does not turn the ball over at this stage in the season. This is a quarterback that usually doesn't turn the football over at this portion in the season. And if you are telling me in a game that is going to be played in perfect conditions, in a game that is going to be played when the Chiefs are as healthy as you can expect to be after playing 5 months of football, I feel very, very good about their chances against a very talented and very deep Eagles team. But it's a little bit deeper than that on why I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs. That's certainly one facet of it. If there's one thing that I think we know about Steve Spagnuolo and how he's going to handle this game and how he's going to attack Jalen Hurts, it's this. They're sending pressure. Think about the AFC Championship game and the play that ended the Buffalo Bills season. It was a well-timed blitz by Trent McDuffie. It was a well-timed blitz call from Steve Spagnuolo to disrupt Josh Allen and force him to throw the ball sooner than what he wanted to. If you look at Jalen Hurts and if you get pressure on the Eagles quarterback, he falls apart. He was dead last this season in EPA. He was dead last against the blitz. He was the bottom 5 in sack rate when blitz. He was 32 out of 37 in yards per attempt. He is basically bottom 5 or bottom 10 in every measurable stat in how you handle the blitz. I don't know when that down is going to come. It could be a critical second down play. It could be a critical third down play. Maybe this game is really tight with 5 minutes to go and the Eagles have the ball and they got to put a drive together to go down the field. I know that Spags is going to dial up the pressure, and I don't trust Jalen Hurts to be able to beat it. Saquon Barkley is an amazing player. He is having one of the best seasons that we have ever seen a running back have. But we have all watched enough football to know that there is going to be a point in this game that you need your quarterback to make a play. You are going to need your quarterback to extend the drive. You're going to need him to make the throw, the run, the decision. And if you get pressure on Jalen Hurts, the numbers tell me he cannot make that play. I don't have those concerns about the Kansas City Chiefs. If you also look at Andy Reid and when you give him an extended amount of time to get ready for a game of this magnitude, in the regular season, they're 22-4 when you give them a bye. You've had Andy sitting. I don't know where he's been. I don't want to say he's been in the basement. He could be in the film room. He could be in the man cave. I don't know where he's been. But Andy's been somewhere. And he has been watching and studying and looking at the Philadelphia Eagles to find any weakness that he can find. And usually, in the 26 years that Andy has been the head coach of in the National Football League, he's usually found that weakness, figured it out, and found a way to exploit that weakness in the Philadelphia Eagles. It is also, I've heard from so many people who are picking Philadelphia, and I certainly understand if you're picking the Eagles to win this game, every reason they are picking them is not centered around coach and quarterback. It is not centered around having the biggest advantage on the sideline or what you deem to be the biggest advantage on the field. And that's where I think ultimately this game is won. If the argument is that the Eagles have a better running back than Kansas City, well, of course. If their argument is that their offensive line is a little bit better, sure. If the argument is that Philadelphia has a better linebacker room, or maybe you like their secondary more, absolutely. But the advantages that I believe Philadelphia has in those other categories, I don't think close the gap enough in the advantages that I think Kansas City has in the things that matter most in how you win close ball games. It's about culture. It's about quarterback. It's about coaching. And Kansas City wins all 3 of those categories. That's why I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. I have a lot of respect for the Philadelphia Eagles. There have only been really one team that has outplayed them this season. They lost a game in which their star running back dropped a wide open pass. They lost another game in which one of their better players, Devontae Smith, dropped a pass in the middle of the field, and their quarterback left the field with an injury, and they still scored 33 points in that game. This is a very, very good Eagles team. But every test that I think the Chiefs have had so far this season, I think has been preparing them for this. Kansas City played 8 different teams that went to the playoffs this year. This is a playoff-tested team. This is a very experienced team. This is a healthy team. And as I've said this week, I just haven't seen many teams anywhere. I don't care if it's road, home, neutral. I haven't seen many teams over the last 5 seasons or throughout this run have been able to beat Kansas City when they are at full strength. I think that Spags figures out a way to slow down Saquon Barkley. I think Spags figures out 1 to 3 plays to disrupt timing with Jalen Hurts to force Philadelphia's offense off the field. And I think Kansas City figures out a way to win this game. That has really defined this era and this dynasty. It is figuring it out. It doesn't matter if they're down 10 with 8 minutes to go like they were in the first Super Bowl. Whatever is necessary for the Chiefs to win that game, the Chiefs usually come up with the game plan to figure it out, and that's why I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game 26-20. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk about the legacies that are at stake in Super Bowl 59. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Super Bowl 59, 1 game, 2 teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. So it doesn't matter if you're predicting who's going to score the first touchdown or who's going to win the MVP trophy. FanDuel makes it easy to place your favorite wagers and feel the thrill of the moment. And with live betting all game, you can jump right into the action and ride that wave from kickoff to the final whistle. Plus, to make the Super Bowl even sweeter, new customers can score $200 when you make your first bet. Yes, place a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. So download the app or head to FanDuel.com, use my promo code KFNZ, and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59 and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Art Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com. It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these great game day specials. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12 plus $4 domestic OP cups. The other place, the next best thing to being at the game.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Sports trading is now legal in all 50 states on the platform Kalshi. Kalshi is an exchange where you can trade on just about anything, including the winner of this weekend's big game. Go to Kalshi.com and use code RADIO to get $10 when you trade 100. That's KALSHI.com. Use code RADIO.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Gearing up for the big game? We are too. Join us on the Moth Podcast for a special episode dedicated to hilarious true stories about football, family, and growing up.
I loved Franco Harrison so much that in 1975, I invited him to my bar mitzvah. And it was so cool that he actually sent me a telegram.
Each week on the Moth Podcast, we share stories that are funny, strange, and above all, true. Find the Moth Podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's George Karlaftis. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the show on 96.5 The Fan. Coming up in about 10 minutes, I'm going to give you guys 5 Chiefs bets that I really like for Super Bowl 59. This show tries to help put a little bit of money in your pocket. We'll do that coming up in just a bit. I spent a lot of time today as I was getting ready for the show thinking about something that Elliott Shore-Parks said on yesterday's show. He is the Eagles insider for WIP. He is picking the Eagles, certainly understandable. This is why he's picking the Eagles.
I think they're dead even. Like the Eagles, even at quarterback, even at head coach. I think the roster, the Eagles probably have better skill players, but I think Kansas City obviously is a team that has a ton of talent and wins all the time. So for me, it comes down to who's more likely to make the mistake. And this is probably where we'll disagree, but I just don't see the Eagles make mistakes to lose games. It just rarely happens this season. In fact, I can only think of one time it happened this season. So both teams, I think it'll be very close. I think, wouldn't surprise me if this game went to overtime, but I'll just bank on the Eagles making one less mistake. And so I would pick the Eagles to win this game about 33-30.
So that was Elliott Shore-Parks, who covers the Eagles. He was on the show yesterday. In the last 2 losses for Kansas City, in one of those games, Patrick Mahomes threw for less than 200 yards. In the other game, the Chiefs gave up a back-to-back fumble 6 and pick 6. So this is a team that obviously in the postseason, you expect to get the best version of Patrick Mahomes, and there hasn't been a postseason game maybe since the AFC Championship game back in 2022 against Cincinnati, where you would say that Kansas City beat themselves. Maybe the Eagles win this game. They're going to have to outplay Kansas City. Kansas City is not going to aid in their own demise. There was also something he said that I thought was pretty interesting, and we had this conversation around the AFC Championship game. You remember, Jeremy White was on the show, and he said that he believed it was Josh Allen's time. Josh Allen won NFL MVP, and if he was in a situation where he could take his team down the field, it was his moment, it was his time. He was going to go on the road at Arrowhead, and he was going to take his team down the field. And you know what? That scenario happened. Buffalo had the ball with less than 4 minutes to go, had all their timeouts, had the 2-minute warning, and now is the opportunity to show us you're that guy. He didn't. Jalen Hurts has a different question, but a similar question. Everybody knows that they can run the football. They can run the football with Saquon. They can hit you with home runs, or if they need to hit a bunt single to get on base with a tush push, Philadelphia is incredible at that. But every game of this magnitude requires your quarterback to make 1 or 2 plays with his arm. I know Kansas City can make that play. Not really sure if Philadelphia can make that play. But the Eagles insider, Elliott Shore-Parks, very confident in the Eagles quarterback and his ability to come through in the clutch.
Now, I would say you having 100% confidence in Mahomes, I understand that. but the Eagles' defense is pretty good. So I don't know if I'd go 100%. But if you just look at the last Super Bowl, when the Eagles needed to score at the end of the game, Jalen led them down the field, and he converted the two-point conversion to tie the game. Now, obviously, there was that cheap flag at the end that clearly impacted the game, so Jalen didn't get the ball back after that. But if you talk about end-of-game scenarios, both Mahomes and Hurts had one at that last Super Bowl, and both converted. And I think, too, when you talk about Mahomes and the Chiefs' ability to win one-score games, and I think it's, 17 in a row or 11-0, something like that, they are really good at winning one-score games. If there's any team in the league that is better than the Chiefs at winning one-score games, it's the Eagles. This stat is a little outdated because now it's the end of the season, but around week 12 or 13, no head coach in the NFL since 2021 had a better record in one-score games. The Eagles are elite at winning one-score games, and they do that because, A, Jalen takes care of the ball. They very rarely turn the ball over. They very rarely get dumb penalties, and you almost never see them make mistakes in situational football. They don't burn timeouts. They get out of bounds when they're supposed to. So in a one-score game, I agree Mahomes deserves that level of confidence, but Jalen Hurts deserves the same level of confidence in a one-score game as Mahomes does.
I can't go that far and put Jalen Hurts in that same conversation with Mahomes, at least with what we're talking about. In the last 4 Super Bowls, I guess 4 of the last 5, because the Chiefs and Buccaneers Super Bowl was not competitive. In 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, you have needed your quarterback to make a drive late. In 2020, the first Super Bowl win for the Chiefs and Niners. The Chiefs had the ball with 5:10 left in the game, down 3. Chiefs go down the field and score a touchdown. Jimmy Garoppolo gets the ball with 2:44 left in the game, down 4. They get a turnover on downs. Fast forward to 2022. This is not Patrick Mahomes. It is Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow. Stafford gets the ball with 6 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock, down 4. They go down the field and score a touchdown to Cooper Kupp. Joe Burrow then gets the ball, 1:25 to go, down 3. You just got to get in a field goal range, turnover on downs. Patrick Mahomes a couple of years ago against the Eagles. It is a tie ball game with 5 minutes to go. Mahomes breaks off the big run to get them in field goal range, hold on James Bradbury. Chiefs kick the field goal, run the clock out. Philadelphia doesn't get a second opportunity. Last year against the San Francisco 49ers, there are 2 drives to end the game. Mahomes takes his team down the field in regulation. They then do the exact same thing in overtime. They win the football game. All Chiefs games are close. Every single one. They've been close for the last 3 years. We know how this game is going to go. I don't really see a scenario in which Kansas City wins this game 31-13. Not that they can't. That's just not really how Chiefs games go. This game is going to be close. This game is going to be competitive. And in that scenario, the reason that the Chiefs have won 17 consecutive one-score games, it is because their quarterback usually responds well in those moments. And usually, I just read you the numbers, the other team's quarterback, the visiting team, the road team, the challenger, their quarterback usually doesn't respond well. These quarterbacks have had chances to beat the Chiefs. They've had chances to slay the king, so to speak. They haven't. San Francisco had a chance to do it in the first Super Bowl. Josh Allen had a chance to do it. Lamar Jackson had a chance to do it in the AFC Championship games. These teams aren't putting the drive together to beat them. Do I think that Jalen Hurts is doing it? I know Saquon can break off a big run. I'm talking about it's 3rd and 8, and you are going to need your quarterback to make a play. You're not handing it off on 3rd and 8. You're going to need your quarterback to throw the ball and make a play. Do you think that Jalen Hurts can make that play against this defense? That is the question. And if you think that he can, like Elliott Shore-Parks, you just heard what he had to say, that's why you're picking Philadelphia. You think their quarterback can make that play. You think they are the better, more well-rounded roster at every other position around the quarterback, and that is going to be enough to get you over the hump. But I've got my questions. I've got my suspicions on if I believe Jalen Hurts can be that kind of special quarterback that I think is necessary to win a game of this magnitude.
I mean, I understand why Elliott Shore-Parks is saying he trusts Jalen Hurts in that situation. I will actually credit Jalen Hurts. He's correct. In that situation in Super Bowl 57 between the Chiefs and Eagles, Jalen Hurts marched right down the field and tied the game. I would tell you That version of Jalen Hurts is better than this version of Jalen Hurts. This version of Jalen Hurts is a quarterback we have seen in Kansas City a half dozen times for me and you's age, Carrington. He's Chiefs Rich Gannon. He's Chiefs Elvis Gerback. He's Chiefs Steve Bono. Hey, man, you have a great run game and a good defense. Don't screw this up for us. We don't need you to make plays to win the game. We just need you to not lose the game. We are playing not to lose. That is our game plan, and it has worked. They survived the Eagles and Rams game. I think the Rams score if it's maybe a better weather, but they didn't, whatever. They blew out the Commanders. They beat the Packers pretty good. He has not been put in a go win the game, young man situation. But I think with the game on the line, as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I have seen the Marty Ball guys fall short every time. The exception is Joe Montana, and I promise Jalen Hurts is not Joe Montana. So I'm hard on the Eagles. I'm down on Jalen Hurts. I am not of the belief he can make that drive, and I get why Elliott Shore-Parks does believe it. But the guy who's being told by his coaching staff, hey, just don't lose the game. The defense in the run game and the offensive line, that'll get us home. Eventually, your quarterback has to make a play. They have survived the postseason without him having to make a play. I don't know you can survive the Super Bowl that way, which is why I am picking the Chiefs and why I believe if there's 2:13 to go and the Eagles are down 4 and the Chiefs defense takes the field, I would have far more confidence in Steve Spagnuolo's bunch than I would Jalen Hurts' bunch, and there's a lot of quarterbacks I feel the opposite way about.
I was thinking about this. And just about legacy, because we talked a lot about Mahomes and the three-peat, and do you think he can catch Tom Brady and Andy Reid and his legacy, and if you think he can catch Bill Belichick. Travis Kelce is perceived to be the greatest tight end in the history of the National Football League, greatest dynasty in the National Football League. There's been a lot of legacy, big-picture conversation about the guys who were playing in Super Bowl 59, and I was thinking this. I actually think that Saquon Barkley is the player that has the most to gain from a legacy perspective if his respective team wins the Super Bowl. Follow me here. Most people already have Patrick Mahomes in their top 5. You might have Patrick even higher than that, but at a minimum, I don't hear too many people. And we had Christopher Mad Dog Russo on the show, and Mad Dog is an NFL historian. He said that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback that he's ever seen, and I love and respect Mad Dog. He usually doesn't give praise to the new school. It's mostly the older guys. So for Mad Dog to say something like that, there's got to be a significant amount of truth to it. But let's be generous with top 5. At this point with Mahomes, we are really arguing if you think he's going to be number 1. And maybe he reaches number 1, maybe he falls short. You think he's the second best quarterback, third best quarterback. But Mahomes' place in history, for the most part, is solidified. I don't think that's the case for Saquon Barkley. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl and Saquon plays well, this will be his Terrell Davis year. Terrell Davis did not play in the NFL for a long period of time. If we are talking about Terrell Davis's longevity numbers against some other running backs, Terrell Davis falls very short. He ran for 2,000 yards. He won regular season MVP. He won Super Bowl MVP. He was a part of a championship team and then another championship team. Terrell Davis, for a 4-year stretch, was as dominant as a running back can be. That's how people will feel about this season if Saquon Barkley finishes this thing out. He is 29 yards away from having the most rushing yards that any player has had in a single season in the regular season, and if you combine the postseason. And we got to be fair to Saquon. We can't even say you did it with the asterisks in the extra game because you didn't play the last game of the regular season. You've gone out there and you've earned it. You have gone out there and played at an incredibly high level, week in, week out, and dominated. This is the difference, in my opinion, with Saquon in being Terrell Davis or being Sean Alexander. And Sean Alexander was a great running back that helped get his team to the Super Bowl. They lost that Super Bowl. Sean Alexander is never going in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, despite running for 2,000 yards, being NFL MVP, being a phenomenal player. If the Eagles win this game and Saquon balls, that's the only way they win, in my opinion. I don't really see a scenario in which the Eagles beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and Saquon runs for 65 yards. If that's the case, Jalen Hurts had an incredible day in that game. And Devontae Smith got going, and Dallas Goedert got going, and A.J. Brown and all their cast of weapons. They need Saquon to be special in this game. He's got a chance to beat Terrell Davis on Sunday. If he goes out there and has 19 carries for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns and wins Super Bowl MVP, when people think back to Saquon and they make the argument of why you should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, they will point to this season in which you guided your team to the Super Bowl. You were the best player on a Super Bowl team. If we look back historically, most of the time, the best player on a Super Bowl team, they make it. The Rams from a couple of years ago, Aaron Donald, their best player. We all think that he's going to make it. Think back over the last 10, 15 seasons. Whoever you think was that team's best player usually makes it. If Saquon Barkley and the Eagles figure it out, I think that's where Saquon is going. I think this game is that important. I think it is the difference of you being in the Hall of Very Good and being in the Hall of Fame. So Mahomes obviously can continue to create the resume of being the greatest quarterback of all time. We can't really feel any different about Travis Kelce. People already think he's number one. Andy, I think, is already making a lot of strong arguments for why he's better than Belichick. I've done it in multiple places. I've done it with Mahomes. I've done it without Mahomes. He's building his case. The player who I think gains in cachet the most, I would say it's Saquon Barkley if the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
So me and you just see this differently, and that's fine. I understand what you're saying, and I recognize what you're saying, but I don't think anyone views running back with wins and losses next to their name. And I get your Sean Alexander comparison, but I think Sean Alexander might still go in the Hall of Fame one day. He'll end up maybe on the Hall of Good, that fringe. But I think there are great running backs who the difference between making and missing is not a Super Bowl. I don't think we talk about positions other than quarterback that way. We only talk about quarterback with success or failure in the biggest games. Why we ding Dan Marino, why we ding, John Elway. They don't have the Super Bowl success of Joe Montana, Tom Brady. We don't do that at running back. We don't say, Roger Craig had more Super Bowls than Terrell Davis. Who's better all time? That's not the way we talk about that position. So I think Mahomes has way more on the line legacy-wise. I also think the leap from 2 to 1 is much bigger than the leap from Hall of Good to Hall of Fame. I feel like the Hall of Fame, especially in football, you can be probably shouldn't be in, but ended up in. I think Saquon Barkley, still a lot of resume left to build, could end up in the Hall of Fame. He'll probably be the 2020s all-decade running back. He'll be Offensive Player of the Year. That's done this year. He will have accomplishments, all pros, next to his name. He could still end up in the Hall of Fame. I don't think, hey, lost Super Bowl 59, that's kind of a hang-up, is a thing for that position. I think the Mahomes-Brady conversation is always going to be judged by Super Bowls, so Mahomes has much more on the line Sunday than Barkley. That's just the way I view it.
Coming up in just a little bit, we'll talk about the MVP award that was given out yesterday. A lot of people thought Lamar Jackson was going to win the award. He did not. Josh Allen was named NFL MVP this season. We'll get to that coming up in a bit, and we'll pick a dark horse candidate to win Super Bowl MVP coming up on Sunday. But before we do that, I scoured the FanDuel app to give you guys 5 Chiefs player props that I like for the Super Bowl, and now it's time for me to give them to you. All right, let's start with this. I am going to take Samaje Perine. I am going to take his over-under on receiving yards. You can get that right now at 7.5. Not really paying a lot of juice. You are getting that at -110. I love that. If you think about Samaje Perine, the over has hit for Samaje in 8 of the last 9 Chiefs games. He had 17 yards receiving against Buffalo, had 13 against the Broncos. Obviously a weird game. 20 against Pittsburgh, 50 against Houston the first time those two teams played each other. Cleveland, over. Chargers, over. Vegas, over. 8 of the last 9. Samaje Perine. This is actually one of my favorite bets this entire Super Bowl, regardless of what team. Give me Samaje Perine over 7.5 receiving yards. You can grab this on the FanDuel app. The next one I am going to take, and you guys know the last couple of weeks, I've been all over the Kareem Hunt player props. Oh, it really came up big for me in the AFC Championship game, and I'm getting back on that horse, and I'm riding it one more time. Give me Kareem Hunt over 11.5 carries in this game. I think the Chiefs are going to run the ball, and I don't think they're giving a lot of carries to Isaiah Pacheco. I could see this being a game in which Kareem Hunt gets his old usage where he gets 14 to 17 carries, and you're going to give me the over, and it's plus money if it hits. It's over 11.5 at plus 125 right now. Yes, Rob, you know I love a good plus money bet. Sign me up. Kareem Hunt over 11.5 carries. I'm going to take that right now at plus 120. On the opposite end, I am going to fade Isaiah Pacheco. He is at 30.5 total yards from scrimmage. So rushing and receiving, it's at 30.5. I'm taking the under right now. I'm taking the under. I don't think the usage is going to be there in the run game or the pass game. I think 30.5 is just too big of a number for me. I faded him in the AFC Championship game. It paid off big for me. I'm going back to the well one more time, and I'm fading Isaiah Pacheco. I'm running back all my favorites from the AFC Championship game. Give me Kareem Hunt at plus 125 to score a touchdown. Wait, you're telling me the Chiefs' number one running back, who has been a touchdown merchant, a goal line merchant, it's plus money for him to score a touchdown in this game? Oh, sign me up. Kareem Hunt, plus 125 anytime touchdown. Actually, this was one of my biggest bets of the weekend. I am all over Kareem Hunt scoring a touchdown in this one. And my last one, I'm going to take Xavier Worthy to score one as well. I like his versatility. He's at plus 155. Great odds for the Chiefs' number one wide receiver. He can get you a rushing touchdown. He can get you a receiving touchdown. You know the usage is going to be there. The volume is going to be there. And he's had a nose for the end zone. So those are my 5 player props that I like the most heading into Super Bowl 59 for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to take the over for Samaje Perine receiving yards at 7.5. I'm going to take over 11.5 carries for Kareem Hunt. Under Isaiah Pacheco, 30.5. I'm going to take an anytime touchdown for Kareem Hunt at plus 125. Also going to take an anytime touchdown for Xavier Worthy. That is at 155. The Xavier Worthy odds don't make any sense to me. None. He's their number one wide receiver. And if you think Patrick Mahomes throws a touchdown, you can even get Kelsey at plus money. Maybe you're on the opposite side. You can get Kelsey plus money. There's every Chiefs player right now to score a touchdown is at plus money. I think it's great value out there if you're a Chiefs fan and you're looking to place a wager on this game. All those lines I gave you come courtesy of FanDuel.
So I'm going to ask you an impossible question, but that's kind of the nature of the beast sometimes. Can you explain why the books hate Kareem Hunt? He's plus money to score a touchdown. All he does is score touchdowns in basically every postseason game this year and has been on, a 5-game touchdown streak? And he is clear-cut running back 1 on this team. I looked it up. His over-under 11.5 is plus money to be the over. Isaiah Pacheco's is 5.5. In what world are the Chiefs running Isaiah Pacheco 6, 7, 8 times and Kareem Hunt 7, 8, 9 times? I know that before the Houston game, we talked about this equitable 50-50 split. That is not how it works. What does Vegas know that we don't know? Or is this just a free money alert? Because it makes no sense to me.
I think it is a free money alert. I don't think that Vegas and the bookmakers have caught up to the fact that the Chiefs have moved on from Isaiah Pacheco. I think the average fan still believes that Isaiah Pacheco is very much involved. And I think the public sees it more as a 1A, 1B than a 1 and a 2. And that's what I think has happened. I think we saw the turn happen in the Houston game starting in that second half. I think for the last 5 quarters, 6 quarters of Chiefs football, I think they have made their decision about who their running back is. And that's why, to me, if you're telling me you can still get over money for Kareem Hunt and his usage in the game, I think you have to take it. I think that's one of the better bets that you can make. Coming up on the other side, let's talk about NFL MVP. It has been decided. Quarterback Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills. He has been awarded this year's trophy, and we'll also give you some dark horse candidates for Super Bowl MVP coming up on Sunday in New Orleans. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Pheasants Forever's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic is coming to the Kansas City Convention Center this March 7th through the 9th. Join us for puppy and dog training seminars, a youth village for kids, pollinator and wildlife habitat hunting gear in the 20th anniversary of Quail Forever. It's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic the weekend of March 7th. Presented by Pheasants Forever, Quail Forever, and Federal Ammunition. For more information, log on to pheasantfest.org.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
Mitch Holthus, the voice of the Chiefs, appears every week on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, Inc. GEHA is a proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
This ain't the little itty-bitty teeny-tiny bowl. This is Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965. That's code 965 for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a Pick 6, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game, and tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Kansas City is gearing up for their third straight championship title game, and Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need to rep your team during their historic run. Swing by your local Academy store today or shop online at academy.com to find officially licensed team gear in game-changing styles, from jerseys and tees to hoodies and hats, all at prices you'll love. Get the best KC gear for the biggest game of the year. Shop Nike, 47 brand, and more Kansas City styles at Academy.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Cloud cover will be increasing this afternoon with a high of 41.
1.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
Welcome to your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 965thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Let me get you some updated odds on who can win Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes is the favorite at plus 105. Saquon Barkley is second, plus 240. Jalen Hurts is third. Travis Kelce is fourth. Xavier Worthy is fifth. Now, I think most people would agree, and obviously Vegas thinks this as well, that the three most likely people to win the award are Patrick Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of both teams and the star running back from the Philadelphia Eagles. But now's the time to go a little bit off the board. Rob, if I give you a free $20 bet, and I'm telling you, you can only place it on Super Bowl MVP, maybe you would just go safe and you would put it on Patrick Mahomes and try to turn that 20 into, $25. Or maybe you want to take a big swing. If it hits, great. If it doesn't hit, then, hey, you're out $20 and you never really had the 20 to begin with. Who would you take your flyer on? Who would you take your big swing on to try to win Super Bowl MVP?
Ooh, big swing. I'm actually surprised that the number is what it is for Xavier Worthy. He was a big swing candidate. I will say Chris Jones. Chris Jones would be my big swing candidate. You don't see a lot of defensive MVPs, although we have seen the Super Bowl. Larry Brown, Dexter Jackson, Von Miller. It has happened. I think if this is a close game where he has multiple sacks and is responsible for stopping the tush push. Remember in the Bills game, Jim Nantz just kept saying the broadcast, they love to go left. They love to go left. Watch out. They love to go left. The Chiefs really love to go left. And Chris Jones was responsible for stopping a few of those tush pushes. If the tush push gets stopped, he gets a sack and a half, maybe more, and is responsible for a turnover in a close defensive game. I think Chris Jones is worthy of a shot because defensive players have won MVP before, and he has game-wrecking type ability.
I'm going to give you my pick. I would put my $20 on Devontae Smith to win Super Bowl MVP. Devontae Smith has cooked the Chiefs in their matchups. Now, there haven't been a lot of matchups. They've only played 2 times in his career, but in those 2 games, he was good. He was real good. I mean, he had 7 catches for 122 yards. He had 6 catches for 99 yards. He has been very, very good against the Chiefs. If you're Kansas City, maybe you can't take away everybody. You're selling out to try to stop Saquon Barkley. You feel really good about Trent McDuffie with whomever he's going up against, and maybe you put Devontae Smith on him, but that leaves A.J. Brown open. That's kind of what makes Philadelphia such a dangerous offense is you got Saquon, you got 2 great wide receivers on the outside, and you probably have a top 5 tight end in the NFL in the middle of the field with Dallas Goedert. If you're telling me to kind of throw a free $20 wager and kind of see what happens, I think Devontae Smith is the player. Maybe the Chiefs do a good job against Saquon Barkley, and then one of the other players eats because of it. I think that player is Devontae Smith. Could he have a 6 for 125, 2 touchdown kind of day, and Devontae Smith ends up winning Super Bowl MVP? I think so. So if you gave me the free $20 and told me to take a roll on it, I would take it on Devontae Smith at 66 to 1. Like, if you're right and Devontae Smith hits, which he's a wide receiver, like, they win. A wide receiver won MVP just a couple of years ago in Cooper Kupp. It's not crazy to think that Devontae Smith wins the award and the Eagles win, and you can cash out at 66 to 1. And if you put 20 on it and he wins, you are going to have a great Valentine's Day. That's who I would put it on. Let's talk about regular season MVP. Now, I was as stunned as everybody else. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that Lamar Jackson was going to win this award. Now, I've gone back and forth. There was a time that I thought Josh Allen was going to win it, and then Lamar Jackson was named first-team All-Pro, and I thought that kind of told you that he was going to win the award. Well, he didn't win the award. It's the first time since the 80s that the first-team quarterback didn't win MVP and another quarterback won the award. That is the kind of season that this has been. This seems to me like a direct result, I think, of 3 things. Number 1, there's only one position that can win the award. We've decided that. You can't win it if you're a defensive player. You can't win it at wide receiver. You can't win it at running back. You can only win it if you play quarterback. All right, well, we're going to take all of these players and then shrink it down to 32 of them. And then we know probably 25 of them really have no chance of being the MVP. So we've narrowed it down to 7 people. I don't think that Josh Allen was the best candidate for the award, but if you're going to limit it to only 7 players have a chance, well, all right, he's one of those 7. You then didn't have a great year from Patrick Mahomes. This wasn't one of those historical, he goes out there, throws for 4,800 yards and 51 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. That wasn't that season for Patrick Mahomes this year. So we can't give it to the face of the league. Well, all right, who else we got? We would give it to Joe Burrow, but his team's going to miss the postseason. All right, well, can't give it to him. Well, what about Lamar? I don't know, man. We've given him the award 2 of the last couple of years. I'm kind of tired of giving it to him. Have you ever eaten at a place so much? Like, you really like it. You really like pizza, but you're like, man, I just had pizza earlier today for work. I don't really want pizza. What else? What are my other options? Tacos? Sure, let's go get tacos. That's what this is like. I'm not saying that Josh Allen is a bad pick for MVP. He just wouldn't have been my pick. If you have made it a quarterback award, he was not the best quarterback in the NFL this season. If you were going to do this, I'd much rather you have given it to Saquon Barkley. If you were arguing the impact that you have had on a team and being a difference maker, I think Saquon Barkley was the biggest difference maker in the league. Philadelphia last year didn't win their division. Philadelphia last year lost in the first round of the postseason. They then add Saquon, they're in the Super Bowl. If you were going to do this route, I would have named Saquon Barkley MVP, but you gave him Offensive Player of the Year, which has turned into the, well, you don't play quarterback, so here, we'll give you this award, which, hey, great. Congratulations to Saquon Barkley for winning the award. But this is what you get. It's really a 3-pronged approach. Number 1, we have decided that only one player can win the award. Number 2, we got tired of giving it to one individual in Lamar Jackson. And 3, I think the league really wanted to give Josh Allen something. I mean, we've given this to Lamar. Pat doesn't need us to give us anything. He just goes out and gets it for himself. He's won this award. He's won Super Bowl MVP. He's won the Super Bowl. Pat doesn't really need our help. Again, we can't give it to Joe Burrow. We'd love to give it to Joe Burrow. I mean, that would be ideal. He had a better season from a numbers standpoint than Josh Allen. But no, we gotta figure out a way to give Josh something. We've already anointed him as the second best quarterback in the league. He's been on Madden covers. He has all these endorsements, but he has a lot of zeros next to his name. I mean, he is a 0-time All-Pro. He is a 0-time MVP. He's a 0-time Super Bowl champion, 0-time AFC champion. I mean, we got to find some way to give Josh something. Well, what can we give him? Well, I mean, I guess we'll give him MVP. Done. Got it. Here, take it. Okay. You're telling me the same people that voted Lamar first-team All-Pro quarterback then voted against him for MVP? Okay. All right. Congratulations to Josh Allen. He wins the, well, we lost the Patrick Mahomes award. I mean, that's actually going out the last couple of years. Lamar got it last year, and then Josh Allen won it this year. So congratulations to Josh Allen as he watches yet another Super Bowl on the couch. You know what? You are like Josh Allen. You're more like Josh Allen than you think you are. You, too, will also be watching the Super Bowl at home from the couch. Coming up at the top of the hour, I will give you guys 2 things that I feel very good about heading into the Super Bowl, 2 things that I feel bad about heading into the Super Bowl. I'll tell you what they are. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Missouri sports fans,
fans, I've got good news. Underdog is available to play in your state. The best app for the big game is actually on your phone, and it's called Underdog. Underdog is the best place to cash in all those takes during the big game, which players are going off, who's ice cold. I like Patrick Mahomes to go higher than 219.5 passing yards. And with their Champions game, you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on those player stats. And over at Underdog, they've got their double flex option, where you can take 2 L's and turn them into a W. The app is so easy to use and right on your phone here in the state of Missouri. Underdog is the best place to play champions. Sign up now and deposit with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. And if you're in Missouri, you'll get an additional $50 in bonus cash when you play your first $5 entry. That's promo code TAPP. Must be 18 plus and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. $10 deposit minimum. See UnderdogFantasy.com for terms and conditions. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Around the corner, there's no better place to watch the game at than with my friends over at The Other Place. With 5 locations around Kansas City, it is the one-of-a-kind game day experience. It's the next best thing of actually being able to go down to New Orleans, and they've got some incredible specials. 14-inch 2-topping pizza for just $12, 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12. So if you want a one-of-a-kind game day experience and you want to catch the big game, stop by and see my friends over at The Other Place.
At Main Street Credit Union, your success is our goal. Jumpstart your savings this year with Main Street Credit Union. Refinance your old auto loan today and get up to $300 in a bonus. You don't need to be a new member of Main Street to apply. With low rates and no payment for 90 days, Main Street Credit Union can be your first step to refinancing your old loan. Restrictions apply. Go to mainstreetcu.org for more information. That's mainstreetcu.org.
It's Brian Baldinger with the Journey to the Big Game presented by Hyundai. After stunning top-seeded Detroit, Washington will face off in Philadelphia in an heated rivalry, game to punch their ticket to the big game. On the other side, led by their star quarterback, Kansas City will look to push their luck for a three-peat against the surging Buffalo team. Now you can buy a new Hyundai from the comfort of your own home at Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for more details.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
It's Century Roofing's 35th anniversary, and to celebrate, we're offering a free material upgrade with your roof replacement. Get a free upgrade from standard and premium shingles to impact-resistant shingles. These will boost your home's value and can lower your insurance premiums. Voted best in Johnson County 3 years in a row. We're KC-based and female-owned. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Book now. This deal won't last long.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This report is brought to you by Kalshi. Visit KALSHI.com and use code RADIO.
Sports trading is now legal in all 50 states on the platform Kalshi. Kalshi is an exchange where you can trade on just about anything, including the winner of this weekend's big game. Go to Kalshi.com and use code RADIO to get $10 when you trade 100. That's KALSHI.com. Use code RADIO.
Listen to the Chiefs and Eagles on Sunday with the official pregame starting at 1. Kickoff at 5:30 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFMZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Thrilled to be here with you on this wonderful Red Friday, getting you ready for Super Bowl 59. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll play for you guys our conversation with Christopher Mad Dog Russo. He is a sports radio Hall of Famer. You see him every Wednesday on ESPN's First Take. He will be on the show coming up in about 15 minutes or so. I want to give you guys two things that I feel very confident in regarding the Chiefs heading into Super Bowl 59. I also want to tell you guys two things that I am worried about heading into it. Philadelphia is a very, very good team. They match up very well with Kansas City in a lot of areas. This is a game that can go either way. I do think Kansas City has the advantage in a couple of different areas, and that's where we'll start first. There's been a lot of talk about Saquon Barkley, deservedly so. He is 29 yards away from having the best single season that any running back has ever had in the history of the league. One of the things that Saquon has done so well this season is big runs. He has been the best at it in the league. He has been the best at taking a 12-yard run and making it a 50-yard run and scoring a touchdown. Mitch Holtis joined us at the beginning of the week to tell us running backs usually don't do that against Kansas City. Here's Mitch Holtis.
For example, I just gave you the run stat for Saquon Barkley. Do you realize how many 50-yard runs the Chiefs have given up in 4 seasons? They've given up 3 in 4 years. That's unheard of, too. And so, and it's kind of been they didn't decide anything. They were done at like kind of obscure times, like this one this year by the Browns. So, the advantage the Chiefs have been, if you're going to play a big run team that has to have chunk runs because they don't have the passing game to get chunk passing plays, they're different now than Super Bowl 57 in that regard, the Eagles. But if you limit or eliminate the chunk runs, which the Chiefs have done as a team really for 6 seasons under Spags, he's only given up 5 or 6 50-plus runs in 6 years. So it just doesn't happen against this defense.
That is where I think Saquon is the most dangerous when it comes to those kinds of plays. It is once you get past the first level of your team's defense, Saquon has taken that one to the house. Like, simple. He has taken that one to the house. You are not catching him. You are going to be looking at the back of his jersey as he runs into the end zone. Think about the NFC Championship game. He hit them early with a couple of big runs, and then that was it, and you never saw the Commanders kind of able to kind of regain their footing after all of that. Could that happen to Kansas City? I don't think so. I think the Chiefs do a really good job at limiting big run plays, and I think they'll do that against Saquon. He is going to get his yards because they're going to give him usage and they're going to give him touches, and he's going to have a lot of opportunities. I just don't think he really has those big runs against Kansas City. You just heard the stat from Mitch Holtis about runs over 50 yards, and they've given up 4 over the last handful of seasons. Saquon Barkley has 7 of those this season. So he has been a big play runner. They might not get those big chunk plays maybe in the passing game. They certainly get them in the run game. I think the Chiefs can do a very good job of limiting that. The second thing that I feel very confident in with Kansas City is Vegas is telling you, the line is telling you, all of the Chiefs' Super Bowl games are telling you that this game is going to be close. And there is no team that is better in the history of the National Football League of winning a close, tightly contested game. If this game is a 27-24 or a 31-28 kind of game, the Chiefs have the significant advantage in that game, and it's largely because of their quarterback. We had Trey Wingo on to talk about Mahomes' greatness. Here's what he said.
Since 2001, there have been 125 drives in the NFL postseason where it was at least the fourth quarter and there was under a minute left to play, and the team on offense trailed by 7 or fewer at the start. These are your standard clutch moments for a football team, the do-or-die drive that win or lose critical games. Out of those 125 drives, only 40% of them saw the team on offense pull off the magic trick and get the points they needed. Some quarterbacks are pretty good at it, like Tom Brady, who's 5 of 11, 46%, or Drew Brees, who was 3 of 6, 50% in these situations. Only one quarterback, though, is a perfect 7 for 7, and that's Patrick Mahomes. When everyone says, what is his greatness? That's the thing that I cling to. In last year's Super Bowl, there was only one touchdown drive in that game. You know, the other touchdown the Chiefs got was off the muff punt, and he hit Marquez Valdez-Scantling on the first play after that. The only touchdown drive the Chiefs had in that game was in overtime, and it started with him converting on a 4th and 1 when they needed a touchdown to win the game. I've never seen anybody like it. I've never seen anybody do it like this more consistently and more regularly than him. And I think that's the biggest edge. And the Bills know this better than anybody. Josh Allen walked off that field with 13 seconds left in that divisional game 3 years ago, and somehow they didn't win that game.
4 of the last 5 Super Bowls have been close, and they have required a quarterback to make a drive. Now, Mahomes has made that drive in 3 of those Super Bowls. Whether it was the first time against San Francisco, they drove down the field and got a touchdown with the under 5-minute mark. Whether it was the last 2 Super Bowls, he had the iconic run against the Philadelphia Eagles. He also had a drive last year to tie the ball game. You just heard Trey Wingo. They have the game-winning touchdown drive in overtime. Vegas is telling you that they think this is a coin flip kind of game. The slight advantage that the Chiefs have in this is, A, due to experience. They've won this game so many times recently. The other one is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the difference. And a lot of people feel like Philadelphia has the better roster, so to speak, in this game. But the advantage has to be with number 15. And that's where I feel very confident heading into this game. Where I am worried about with Philadelphia, it starts on the defensive line with Jalen Carter. There has been a team this postseason that has slowed Kansas City down. It was Houston. And Houston could get pressure from all sides when it came to your defensive line. They had 2 very good pass rushers on the outside, and they got a good push up the middle. Now, I'm looking at this one. I think the Eagles are better equipped to maybe really press Caliendo in the middle, where they don't really get their pressure from the edge rushers as much. They kind of get their pressure up the middle. This is going to be a really big test, I think, for that revamped, kind of switched around offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Jalen Carter is next up. He is Quinnen Williams. He is Chris Jones in 2017, a very, very good player who feels like he is going to progress to being the best defensive tackle in the National Football League. He worries me a little bit on this matchup, and can the Eagles win the defensive line battle, and can they dominate up front and muddy this game up, so to speak? I do think the Eagles could potentially take advantage of that. And the last time that these 2 teams played each other, it's not like the Chiefs' defense was really great in that Super Bowl. I mean, Spags had his weapons. They were healthy. They went up against his Eagles team, and the Eagles scored 35 points against them the last time. Jalen Hurts, for all the questions that I have about Jalen Hurts, he was 27 of 38 for 300 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts did score a drive to put them in a good spot. Now, Mahomes got the ball last. They then scored. They then ran the clock out. They won the football game. But Jalen Hurts played pretty well the last time that these 2 teams met up in the Super Bowl. He ran 15 times, scored 3 touchdowns. They ran their quarterback sneak, the tush push. They ran it 6 times. They converted it all 6 of those times. And the Chiefs didn't take anybody away offensively. Now, you could argue they did so for Miles Sanders. He was their number 1 running back. Miles Sanders didn't play very well in the game. But when it came to the passing game, I mean, Smith had 7 for 100. A.J. Brown had 6 for 96 and scored a touchdown. Dallas Goedert was 6 of 60. They're going to need to take somebody away in the passing game, in my opinion. And who do you think that is? Is it Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert? So, Rob, if you're asking me, 2 things that I feel great about heading into the Super Bowl, 2 things I'm a little bit worried about. I feel confident in Kansas City's ability to limit big runs. They just don't give up a lot of them. In fact, they gave up 1 this season. It was Jerome Ford in the Cleveland Browns game. If this game is close, and they are historically close at this point in the season, the Chiefs are the best 1-score team we've ever seen in the National Football League. And then on the flip side, I think Jalen Carter can be a problem in this game and be a disruptor. And the last time that these 2 teams played each other, I mean, Philadelphia scored 35 points. I mean, over the last 3 seasons, there have been 2 teams that have scored 30 on Kansas City. Philadelphia was one of those teams, and Buffalo scored 30 against them earlier in the season.
I think your confidence and fears are well-founded. I think, to speaking about your fears, Jalen Carter, this is the game where I think the Chiefs really wanted to have DJ Humphries work out. I think the Chiefs obviously really wanted Wanye and/or Kingsley really work out. I think there's a reason that Joe Tooney was the break glass in case of emergency plan. That's what Nate Taylor kept telling us this year. That's why they went to it in late December. It was they got forced into it. I'm not saying they were saying that one day we're going to face the Eagles in the Super Bowl, but the Eagles and the way they are constructed is exactly why I think the Chiefs did not want to bump Tooney out to left tackle. Jalen Carter's next up. You said it perfectly. He might be better than Chris Jones right now. He's the only guy I'll hold that conversation for in the interior. And if he is standing over Mike Caliendo at any point on Sunday, that's a losing matchup for the Chiefs. It just is. Trey Smith and Jalen Carter will be a lot of fun. Mike Caliendo and Jalen Carter will be a lot of sadness. That is the matchup that could change the game because, and Matt Verderame had this earlier in the week when he was on the show, when the way to beat the Chiefs is to get Mahomes running around and be under pressure. When he's under pressure, he's obviously not as effective as a quarterback. Jalen Carter versus Mike Caliendo could be a game-wrecker moment and could lead to those sorts of run around, and Mahomes isn't that guy. This feels like the game where we all think to ourselves, man, I see now why the Chiefs didn't want to bump Tooney out despite how good he's been, because you could really see the holes at defensive tackle versus left guard on Sunday.
All right, coming up in about 20 minutes, we are going to play a very simple game of play or pass. We'll go through the most popular bets right now that have been placed for Super Bowl 59, and are these bets that you want to play, or are you going to pass on them? Coming up, though, on the other side, we are going to be joined by Christopher Mad Dog Russo of SiriusXM Channel 82 of Mad Dog Sports Radio. You can also catch him every Wednesday on First Take. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Well, hey, folks, the big game is right around the corner, and I'm trying to get you set up with some legendary Kansas City eats as we watch the hometown team compete on Sunday. There's no better place to do that than with my friends over at Gates Barbecue. They got party trays, which are great for family get-togethers, tailgating, or for your big game party. Listen to this. They even got wing trays. Go in there, and you can get you a small party tray, a large party tray. Maybe you're doing it big. You're getting the presidential platter. And then off to the side, get yourself a wing tray. 12 wings, 14 wings, 24 wings, however many you need. Go hit them up over any one of the Area 5 locations. They'll get you set up. Maybe you plan on doing your own little bit of cooking for the big game. Maybe you want to handle it yourself. Well, the next time you go to the grocery store to get ready for Sunday's matchup, make sure that you have the classic Gates sauce and seasonings for whatever your game meal is going to be. It's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here reminding you that as we watch the big game on Sunday, the best food that you can have to celebrate a Kansas City win is some Kansas City barbecue with my friends over at Gates.
Kansas City is gearing up for their third straight championship title game, and Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need to rep your team during their historic run. Swing by your local Academy store today or shop online at academy.com to find officially licensed team gear in game-changing styles, from jerseys and tees to hoodies and hats, all at prices you'll love. Get the best KC gear for the biggest game of the year. Shop Nike, 47 brand, and more Kansas City styles at Academy.
For the third consecutive year, the Chiefs are headed back to the big game. I'm going to let Hy-Vee do all of our game day shopping with Aisles Online. Just place your order online and schedule a convenient pickup or delivery time. Place your order today and get a 75-cent per gallon fuel discount with any $125 purchase. And Hy-Vee has everything you need in one place with endless watch party food options, including wings, pizza, specialty brats, chips, and so much more. Hy-Vee, the official grocery partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
movies. Asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back.
I was coined Almost Andy Reid when I was on a radio show, and it's stuck with me ever since. Renner Garage Door can help you not get stuck out in the cold this winter. Book your annual maintenance or get a free replacement quote today.
RENNER, RENNER.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Looking at emergency vehicles stopping traffic on the far east side, westbound 70, the exit to 7 highway, and seeing some brake lights heading into downtown, northbound 71, and also into downtown via southbound 35. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Trent McDuffie. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you. Coming up in about 40 minutes, we'll be joined by Nate Taylor live in New Orleans. But earlier today, I got a chance to catch up with Christopher Mad Dog Russo. He does fantastic work for Sirius XM Channel 82 and Mad Dog Sports Radio. You can catch him every day on Mad Dog Unleashed. You also can watch him on ESPN every Wednesday. He is on First Take. That's the most popular show on ESPN. Our conversation with the Radio Hall of Famer started with, last time that these two teams played each other, it was about storylines. It was about Andy against his former team. It was about the Kelsey family. This is a little bit different. This is about history. This is about the Chiefs' chances at a three-peat and doing something that no team has ever done in the Super Bowl era. And it's also about Saquon Barkley and can he cap off a legendary season. Here's Christopher Mad Dog Russo.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. Now, listen, I don't want to put cold water on it, but the three-peat in the NFL, I mean, I was around and I was at the game where they lost, Dallas and San Francisco, and I did shows in Candlestick before those games in the NFC Championship. I don't remember people making a big deal about the three-peat. I certainly was around with Brady. I don't remember a big deal about the three-peat. I don't remember that big a deal about this three-peat deal Now, in the NBA, I do because, Riley did the two-peat when they beat Detroit. But I don't recall in previous scenarios where, and I've been at these games since 1989, where everybody was wrapped up on a team trying to win 3 in a row. Now, I know now it's a big deal. I know Kelsey made it a big deal last year. But nobody even knew about the Packers winning 3 straight when they beat Buffalo, Kansas City, and the Raiders in 65, 66, 67. Nobody knew anything about it until recently. So this is these aren't the Yankees in 49 to 54. So to me, it's a little overdrawn. And Barkley's a great player, but he's a running back. I hadn't even thought of it, but you're right. This probably would be based on his postseason performances. Maybe the greatest year in the history of running backs. He's not the greatest running back of all time. There are better running. Walter Payton's better. Jim Brown's better. Probably Simpson's better. Gale Sayers is more electric. There are better backs than Barkley. I don't recall. I don't think. I haven't looked at this game that way. I look at this game specifically as, well, the greatness of Mahomes, number one. And I look at this game as the Eagles. I think they have to win the game. I think if the Eagles lose 2 and 3 years to the Chiefs, and this time they got the better running back, in which they didn't have 2 years ago with Sanders. Now they got Barkley. I think that would be a bitter pill for the Eagle fan to swallow. I know the Chief fan doesn't want to hear it, but if you lose on Sunday, what are you going to do? You're going to go kill the Chiefs? They've been so good. They've been so tremendous. They've been so clutch. They happen to lose a close game here, and they could on Sunday afternoon. Is it that big a deal that they didn't win 3 in a row? Not to me, it isn't. As a sports fan, and I don't look at Barkley either. If Barkley, wins this game today, am I going to say 20 years from now I was around for the greatest single season of the history of running backs? As a sports fan, I don't look at either one of those two things as significant. And I'll give you another one with the three-peat. I don't recall anybody, and I saw those games in the mid-'70s when the Steelers lost to the Raiders without their 2 running backs, Blyer and Franco, and they lost 24-7 in Oakland when the Raiders beat Minnesota to win a Super Bowl. Nobody mentioned three-peat with Pittsburgh. There wasn't a person in the world who thought, oh, wow, they're going for a three-peat. No, they didn't. Nobody said anything. So I think it's a little overrated myself as a sports fan. I think it's a little overrated. That's a lot to say. I just gave you there, Carrington. I think this game is a fascinating game. It's a good game. I'm not into the hoop of the game because I don't like the Eagles and I'm cheaped out. But as far as the quality of the game is concerned on Sunday afternoon, you're going to have a good game. You really are.
Mad Dog, that's interesting to hear you say that, and I'm excited to have you on the show because you are a great historical guide for how important these games are and where to rank teams. There have really been, 5 dynasties in Super Bowl history dating back to the 70s with the Steelers. I'm looking at Kansas City where if you win on Sunday, you got to go to the front of the list to me because you won those 3 straight Super Bowls that you mentioned some of those great teams and those quarterbacks. Bradshaw never won 3 in a row. Montana didn't win 3 in a row. Aikman, Tom Brady didn't win 3 in a row. If Patrick Mahomes is able to complete this thing where they've been to 5 and 6 years and they won 3 in a row, to me, you have to put this Chiefs team number 1 on the all-time dynasty list in my mind in league history.
Well, I don't quite look at it that way. I will put Mahomes there. Remember, the Steelers had 9, 10 Hall of Famers. Pittsburgh, Green Bay, and you got to count them too. They won 5 and 9 years with Lombardi. They had 1 million Hall of Famers. San Francisco had 1 million Hall of Famers, and they also had Young, who won a Super Bowl after Montana. Brady, they had Belichick, speaks for itself, and the way they won, the gap in between. How many Hall of Famers do the Chiefs have on their team? Kelsey's a Hall of Famer. Chris Jones is probably going to Hall of Fame. And Mahomes is a Hall of Famer. That's it. Nobody else. They have 3. Pittsburgh had Webster and Stallworth and Swan and Bradshaw and Franco and Lambert and Mean Joe Green and L.C. Greenwood and Mel Blount. Green Bay, the whole offensive line, Starr, Horning, Jim Taylor, the head coach. Now, Smith Reed's going too, but Lombardi, Dave Robinson, Herb Adderley, Nitsky, Henry, the lineman, the defensive end. They had so many guys going to the Hall of Fame. The Patriots didn't have a lot. It was basically a lot of Brady and Belichick and the Chiefs only have 3. So I look at this Chief dominance more relatable with the QB than I do with the franchise. Because without Mahomes, I don't know how many, they're not going to win any. I mean, Pittsburgh almost won with they had Gilliam, they had Hanratty, they had 1 year he didn't play, they had Tom Zach, they were great, they had the best defense I've ever seen. I mean, Brady, they wouldn't have won without Brady. Montana had Young. Packers had Brakowski, who won playoff games, and Bart Starr was hurt. It's a little different. So I agree you can put the Chiefs on that level, but the Chiefs, as far as their greatness is concerned, to me as a fan, is about their quarterback. It's not about the team itself. It's about the quarterback because this quarterback is most responsible for their run. Packers could have won without Starr. The Niners did win without Montana. The Steelers, with that defense, could have beaten anybody. Bradshaw, they won their first 2 Super Bowls with defense. They could have won without Bradshaw. The Chiefs could not have won without Mahomes. That's the way I look at it from a differential standpoint. So I like those other teams better because it's more about the franchise. To me, the Chiefs are more about the QB.
Right now, we're talking to Christopher Mad Dog Russo. He joins us on the show. You can catch him every day on Sirius XM Channel 82 and Mad Dog Sports Radio. You can also catch him Wednesdays on ESPN's First Take. The last time you joined us to get ready for the AFC Championship game, you mentioned that Mahomes was the greatest quarterback you've ever seen. Let's talk about the head coach, and a lot of people consider Bill Belichick to be the greatest coach of all time, certainly understandable with the amount of championships that he has. But we've also seen Belichick, aside from Brady, and the results have been very mixed. I think that Reid, if this team can win this Super Bowl and can continue their success, we saw Reid do it in Philadelphia. We've seen him do it in Kansas City. He has a very, very high floor. I actually think there could be an argument by the time that Andy Reid is done that he is the greatest coach of all time.
I think the greatest coach of all time is Lombardi. I don't think he only coached 9 years and he won 5 championships. One of those years was with Washington. He was struck down at 57 years of age. Lombardi took a team in Green Bay that the ingredients were already there. Remember, Horning was there. Jim Taylor was there. Starr was there. Nitsky was there. And before Lombardi took over in 58, they were 110-1. So to me, the best nobody, and they named their Super Bowl trophy after him. To me, nobody, and then Lombardi had to win the most pressurized game in the history of the NFL. That 66 Super Bowl he had to win because it was the NFL against the AFL. He had to win that game, and he win it. He killed the Chiefs. He is, to me, number one. Now, a lot of people disagree, and Belichick is in the mix, and Paul Brown, too, and you're 100% right on Reid. You got to put Bill Walsh in there. Andy, at the end of the day, is going to be in that category. He's in there right now. At the end of the day, he will be, somewhere, if he stays and they win a couple of more, he'll be somewhere in that 5 or 6 category. Belichick didn't win in Cleveland, didn't win without Brady. Reid got to a Super Bowl without Mahomes, got to plenty of championship game in Philly without Mahomes. Donovan McNabb was not a great quarterback, so I have no problem of where you want to put Reid. Now, I'm not putting him number 1. That I'm not doing. I don't think, it's the West Coast offense. Walsh invented it. I think Walsh and Belichick and Brown and Lombardi, I think those 4 would not be touched. But I'm not going to count Hallis. He was an owner, so I'm going to leave him out of it. I'm not putting Gibbs or Parcells in there, or Chuck Noll, or Shula, or Landry. But Landry's consistency is tremendous. Shula won the most games. But if you want to put Reid at the end of the day somewhere in that 5 area, I have no problem with it. None. He might even be there now if you wanted to argue. He's that good. I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. But I don't think, in my eyes, as a football fan, I'm not Brown, who invented the way the coaching worked, film work, and how Brown organized 10 straight championship games. Otto Graham, nobody's better than Brown's great. Lombardi's great. Belichick is Belichick. He went to whatever. He went 9 Super Bowls. He won 6. And he drafted Brady. And, Reid drafted Mahomes. And, of course, and Lombardi. Those 4, to me, as a sports fan, I don't think they're approachable. I will certainly put Reid 5. You want to put him in that area? I have no problem whatsoever.
Most people think that this game is going to be close. It's going to be a 28-24 game on either side. We both obviously feel very confident if let's say Kansas City is down 27-23. Mahomes has the ball, and he has to put a drive together to go win the game. We have seen Patrick in enough of those situations to know that Kansas City is going down and getting points. Let me ask you that question about Philadelphia. Where's your confidence level in Jalen Hurts? If he needs to orchestrate a drive to put Philadelphia in range to win, do you think he can do it?
That's an excellent question, and I think in a lot of ways you put the game in the proper context. Listen, one of these days they won 17 one-possession games, and I'm not sure to answer your question if Hurts can do it. We haven't seen him do it. I do think he could have driven down the field and kicked the game-tying field goal if he had that chance 2 years ago, and he didn't because they ran out the clock and kicked the field goal to win it. But one of these days, Mahomes is going to lose one of these games. The ball is not going to scrape off the upright like the Charger game. They're not going to block a game-ending kick against Denver. They're going to grant him the first down, and it was the right call. I'm not arguing that. But it could have gone either way. They're going to grant him the first down on a 4th and an inch play where, maybe Mahomes falls down by 2 scores, as could have happened 2 weeks ago. There's going to be a ball deflected at the line of scrimmage where, it gets picked off. Or, he throws a ball that, that gets dropped late. I mean, one of these days, the magic won't be there for Kansas City. That's just, it's the rule of sports. Even the Yankees lost in the 50s. Mazeroski had a home run in 1960. Jordan didn't lose, but, the one player in the NFL and the NBA can dominate when he started to win. But, Golden State won 73 games and got beat by a blocked shot. One of these days, the Chiefs are going to, whatever that might be, they're going to lose one. I'm not saying it's going to be Sunday, but one of these days, it's not going to go on forever. They're going to lose one of these close games, and we all know they've won a million of these close games, and they have been at times fortunate. Now, having said that, if it is 27-23 Kansas City, and it's Eagle ball late, and they got to go the length of the field against Spagnuolo, Buffalo, listen, Kincaid's got to catch the ball. I mean, let's be honest. That ball has to be. You're going to beat the Chiefs. That ball has to be caught. And if he did catch it, they at least would have been in an overtime, I would think. But we haven't seen Hurts do that. You're 100% right. He's played well. He's a good quarterback. He's not a special quarterback. And to do that, you got to be special. We don't know if he's got that gene in him. Because at 27-23, you're probably not going to be able to rely on Barkley. He's going to have to, throw the ball down the field and complete passes and register a touchdown. And that's asking a lot. So if it comes down to that, big edge Kansas City. But maybe for a change, it's 27-24 Eagles, and it's Chief ball. And for whatever the reason, on a run, he fumbles. Or Kelsey fumbles, getting that extra 3 or 4 yards at midfield. Or, Butker, who's a great kicker, misses a 52-yarder to tie it up. You're not going to win every game. Now, I've been saying this forever, and they always do. But eventually, Carrington, you're going to lose one. Maybe this is the Sunday they do.
Dog, it's interesting to hear you say that because the reason I am picking Kansas City, and I have it Chiefs 26, Eagles 20. I think Philadelphia is a great team. Obviously, with Saquon Barkley, their offensive line, their defense, there are a lot of reasons to pick Philadelphia to win this game. I just haven't seen a fully healthy Chiefs team lose many of these games over the last 5 years. That you're right. Eventually, something happens, an injury happens, a tip ball, a missed extra point, something happens. But what I've seen from this Chiefs team over the last 5 years is anytime they need to figure it out, they figure it out. They need to figure it out one more time on Sunday against the Eagles. And at this point, I just can't bet against Kansas City.
I understand that. 100%. Let me give you one thing. The Eagles, number 1 defense, number 1 rushing attack. The last team that went into the Super Bowl with the number 1 rushing attack and the number 1 defense were the 92 Cowboys. They beat Buffalo. I was there, 52-17. That's the last team that came into the game with those attributes. 45, 49-man roster. They got a better team than the Chiefs. They have a better team. They have better receivers. They got a better running back. They got a better defensive line than the Chief offensive line. They have a better team than Kansas City. Now, they don't have a better coach. They don't have a better coordinator than Spagnuolo. And, of course, we know that Mahomes is 8-0 against Fangio. And they don't have a better quarterback. So the Chiefs have a better coaching staff, and they have the greatest quarterback in my eyes I've ever seen. And they have all this experience. That's a very, very tall order. But the Eagles easily could have won 2 years ago, and now they have Barkley, who you just said, if he wins this Super Bowl, it's the greatest year for a running back in the history of the National Football League. That's going back to Nagurski in the history of the NFL. So I understand you picking Kansas City. I understand everybody in Kansas City having some confidence because of their mojo and the coach and the quarterback and their work ethic and their escapability and all. I get it. But maybe it's the Eagles' turn. And I know they do it against Buffalo. Tough to beat the same team basically twice in 3 years by the chinny chin chin. I can make an excellent argument, and I had Greg Olson on yesterday. He did the same thing. That game 2 years ago, they should not have called that hold. That should have been a field goal, and then we see if Hurts could have driven down the field. And let's not forget, be fair. I'll give you the statistics if you want them. The Chiefs get a lot of calls. I guarantee it. When the officials have their dinner tonight, the officials have a dinner at the Super Bowl, they get rewarded, and the NFL takes them out to a big meal, and Goodell is there. I guarantee it. Goodell is going to tell these guys, I don't want to wake up Monday morning and hearing people bitch and moan that the Kansas City got all these calls. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. So in this case, I actually think the breaks of the calls might go Philly's way. I'm reaching, and I certainly understand if you pick Kansas City. I'll pick the Eagles. I'm with you on the same score. I think low scoring. They beat them last year on Monday night, 21-17. I'll say 23-20 Philadelphia on Sunday.
And you just heard it from Christopher Mad Dog Russo, a sports talk radio legend. He headlines Mad Dog Sports Radio channel, Sirius XM Channel 82. Also the host of the anchor program Mad Dog Unleashed. You can catch that every weekday, 3 Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. You also can catch him every Wednesday on ESPN First Take. Dog, it's always an honor and a privilege to have you join us. Thanks a lot for hopping on during Super Bowl week.
You got it, Carrington. Great job on your part.
Absolutely. That is Christopher Mad Dog Russo joining us on the show. A couple of things with Mad Dog. The part that I think he needs to give Kansas City a little bit more credit if the Chiefs do this, and what makes them, I think, different than the Steelers, for example, is it's the salary cap era. In 1970, you could keep all of your players. The Steelers had 10 Hall of Fame players, Rob, the entire 70s. They were able to keep everybody. That couldn't happen today. Somebody would leave. Somebody would demand a trade. You just financially wouldn't be able to keep everybody. Now, we've seen dynasties in the salary cap era. The Patriots have done it a couple times, and Kansas City is obviously in the midst of doing it right now. I don't know if it's fair to compare the economics and business of football in 2025 to the same that it was in 1975. It's just different in a lot of ways. I do think what we are seeing with having different people on the show is there is a clear line, I think, that is being drawn in how you are picking this game. There is the side that many of you are on, the side that I am on. This team has the better coach and quarterback. I've seen them win all of these games. I think they're going to win another one. And then there is the other side that is saying, well, we don't care about all of that. We think that this team is better 2 through 53, and that's why we are picking Philadelphia. It is an interesting case study. My counter to that would be is we've done this exact same song and dance in the last 2 Super Bowls. That's what everybody was saying last year about San Francisco, right? Well, we know that one team has Brock Purdy and the other team has Patrick Mahomes, but I like the weapons on that team far more than I like the Kansas City options. I'm rolling with San Francisco, and they almost did it. 2 years ago against Philadelphia, probably making the same argument. Philadelphia has a lot of the same pieces, at least on offense. Now, on defense, they've retooled the defense over the last 18 months or so, but also an argument that people were making that they had the better 2 through 53 argument. That argument, at least for me, just doesn't hold a lot of water to this point. At least not for me to pick Philadelphia. They could win this game. They could go out there. They could outplay Kansas City. I just haven't seen too many teams do it. In fact, I've seen one team outplay Kansas City in the last 18 months. I've seen one team do it. With those kind of odds, I feel like I know what side I should be standing on. Right now, you got two team captains right now. You got Mahomes on one side. You got Jalen Hurts on one side. Man, one side always wins in dodgeball. I want to be on that guy's team when the dodgeballs start flying. Coming up on the other side, we're going to play a very simple game of Pick Me. I'll explain. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The big game is right around the corner. There's no better place to watch the game at than with my friends over at The Other Place with 5 locations around Kansas City. It is the one-of-a-kind game day experience. It's the next best thing of actually being able to go down to New Orleans, and they've got some incredible specials. 14-inch 2-topping pizza for just $12. 8 wings in a basket of tots for $12. So if you want a one-of-a-kind game day experience and you want to catch the big game, stop by and see my friends over at The Other Place.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
It's Century Roofing's 35th anniversary, and to celebrate, we're offering a free material upgrade with your roof replacement. Get a free upgrade from standard or premium shingles to impact-resistant shingles. These will boost your home's value and can lower your insurance premiums. Voted best in Johnson County 3 years in a row. We're KC-based and female-owned. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Book now. This deal won't last long.
Hey, it's Carrington here, and let me tell you about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. I love football season. I love snack season. So when you're eating chips, wings, or veggies, and you're looking for that perfect complement, look no further than Daisy French Onion Dip. And now they have a ranch dip, and I'm telling you, this is a game changer. These are as good as homemade dips with real herbs and spices and ingredients that you'd find in your own kitchen. So go try the Daisy French Onion Dip today. Trust me, you'll love it. You can find it at a grocery store near you.
This ain't the little itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. This is Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965. That's code 965 for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Big game coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Community America Credit Union. Member owned, open to all, invested in you. Join today at communityamerica.com. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Right lane closed for a stalled car northbound 35 just before 67th Street, and seen some brake lights eastbound 70 out of the 435 exchange. Other than that, traffic looking good across the Kansas City Metro. Big savings are rolling in at Metro Ford. Get $12,000 off new 24 Expeditions, up to $10,000 off 24 Escapes. Looking for an F-150? We've got the best selection in the city, plus every new vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Stop by Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence or visit kcmetroford.com today. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Welcome to your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we are going to be joined by Nate Taylor, who covers the Chiefs for The Athletic. He is down in New Orleans. We'll get his thoughts on Super Bowl 59. All right, before we do that, let's have a little bit of fun. I know that everybody's super serious, and we got to talk sports today. But while you're watching the Super Bowl, you eat too, right? You watch the commercials too, right? It's not football for the entire 4-hour television show. You're doing some other things. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to play a very simple game called Pick Me. Usually we would play One Gotta Go. We don't got to do that. I'm going to give you food options, and you have to determine what you're putting on your plate. Hit me, Rob. All right, Rob. These are your sauce choices. Guacamole, salsa, ranch, a little French onion dip. Which one of these are you putting on your plate?
French onion dip. French onion dip all day. I like a nice ruffle in French onion dip. Here's the thing. Maybe this is a hot take. I don't like guac. Guac does not move me in the way a lot of people do. I think salsa's fine, but there's too much variance in salsa. If I come to your house, you might have a different salsa than I like. If I go to Cody's house or Gold's house, the salsa is all different. I like a nice ruffle and a nice French onion dip. I'm safe. Ranch is the best thing, but what am I dipping in ranch? Carrots? Celery? No thanks. French onion dip.
You know what? I actually think that French onion dip is a bad answer. It's not multi-purpose. It can only do one thing. It doesn't have nearly the versatility of some of the other things that I listed out here. You know what? I'm going with salsa here. I can dip it on my chips. See, I like to kind of eat in waves during the bowl. I might have a little cup of Rotel early. I might have a little pizza in the first quarter. I might go up there and grab me a couple of wings. I might have a sweet tooth for the third quarter. And then I might just snack for the fourth quarter. Who knows how I'm going to be feeling on Sunday? I don't know yet. I'm going to go with salsa. I think there's more stuff I'm going to be able to kind of mix with the salsa. I'm going with the salsa. Next up, pick one. Sliders, wings, pizza, or a little nacho. Which one you picking?
Ooh, I want the record to show you can't go wrong here.
No, absolutely not.
This is one of those rare ones where there's not a wrong answer. I think I'm going to go wing. Wing is probably my answer here. It's a food staple. You get a variety of flavors. You get your buffalo, you get your honey barbecue. Maybe people have a little garlic parmesan in the house. It's the highest flavor profile of all the different options, so I'm going to say wing. Slider was right there, but I'm going to go wing for my pick food.
You know what? You might be surprised at my answer. I'm not going wings here. I mean, I love wings, don't get me wrong. But for this, I'm either going pizza or I'm going sliders. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from the barbecue capital of the United States. The sliders are usually not hamburger sliders. They're usually a pulled pork slider or a brisket slider. So you're telling me if I'm making out a plate here, I grab a couple of those brisket sliders and then I can pair it with the little chips and salsa. I just feel like it goes a little better. I'm picking sliders here. I'm picking sliders. Now, I'm probably eating some combination of all of these things. I actually have a rule. Maybe you don't know this. Whatever calories you eat during the game, they don't count. So you don't got to add those to anything. You might be trying to have a diet. You don't need to worry about that because whatever calories you eat during the game, they don't count. Eat what you want, drink what you want. It doesn't count towards your diet. I'm putting the sliders on my plate. All right, pick one. You got Smokies, you got pigs in a blanket, or you got meatballs. What are you picking?
This is the easiest one you've laid out. I'm taking Smokies. Smokies are incredible. If you get someone that cooks it in the right barbecue sauce, fire. Pigs in a blanket doesn't move.
Smokies?
Pigs in a blanket doesn't move me. Meatballs, whatever, no. The answer is a nice little smoky and a nice hot barbecue sauce. You put on your plate, you get your little toothpick and you pick and go. Oh, Smokies is the easy answer. Smokies might be a top 3 app for the Super Bowl.
Smokies might have been the worst thing that I've listed so far.
You're nuts.
And I'm not even a huge guacamole guy. Smokies are not going on my plate. Please don't bring me that. Please don't. You know what? I'm going meatballs. Give me a little meatballs. Give me a little red sauce. I would absolutely love that as a little finger food. You're right. I'm building my plate. I'm going to grab me, boom, boom. I'm going to grab me 2, maybe 3 of the little meatballs and walk back down in front of the television. Yes, I'm going meatballs here for this one in my Pick Me edition. All right, Rob, pick me. Are you getting a brownie, some Rice Krispie, or a little piece of cookie cake? Brownie, Rice Krispie, or cookie cake? It's the third quarter, maybe 7 minutes. You've had 2, maybe 3 plates. You've had a couple of brews. And now you got a little bit of a sweet tooth. What are you getting?
Cookie cake. All day, every day. Rice Krispie treats do not move me in the least. I am not a Rice Krispie treat guy. Like, even like the Kellogg or whatever that brand is, no thanks. Homemade, I'll pass. Brownie are good. There's nothing wrong with brownie, but cookie cake. Cookie cake is an elite dessert. It might be a top 5 cake. It is that good. Little pro tip if you want. If you're like, hey, I like cookie cake, but I don't go to enough events to have cookie cake. They sell it by the slice at Hy-Vee. Fantastic discovery I had one day. This is the last 2 have been easy. Cookie cake all day.
Out of this option, I'm probably going brownie. This wouldn't be my plate of choice. This isn't my sweet tooth. I usually go for I love a chewy Chips Ahoy. I love a chewy Chips Ahoy. I don't need that many. Give me 1 or 2. So I understand this is, I'm picking I'm probably picking the brownie out of this group. Now this is where I shine. This is my last one for Pick Me. Cookie edition. You got M&M cookie, chocolate chip cookies, oatmeal raisin, or the little sugar cookies with the little icing. You know, they usually got a little decoration on there, a little football, a little something. What cookie are you grabbing? M&M, chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, or a nice little decorative sugar cookie?
M&M. Chocolate chip's a great cookie. It might be the best cookie, but I can get it regular no matter what. I think M&M is a special occasion cookie. You don't just go to a random event that has M&M cookies that often. The Super Bowl is one of those things. I would imagine at a party of someone listening, it has the red and yellow M&Ms. That's my guess for the Chiefs. So, yeah, give me the M&M cookie all day.
If I had to make a list of things I love in this world, a slightly hot chocolate chip cookie is it is a top 4 seed in the Carrington bracket. You put that chocolate chip cookie in the microwave for just a little bit. Not a lot. Just put it in there for 3 to 6 seconds and take it out. And when you break that thing open and you see that chocolate oozing, it's life-changing. That's what it is. It's life-changing. Sugar cookies are terrible. Sugar cookies are bad. Sugar cookies, that's what you bring to the company potluck. That's what it is. That's a bank cookie. I don't want no bank cookie during the bowl, man. Not at all. Please chocolate chip me. I don't mind the M&M one either. I'll eat the M&M one too. But please chocolate chip cookie me during the game. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Nate Taylor, who is live in New Orleans getting you ready for Super Bowl 59. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Right lane closed for a stalled car northbound 35 just before 67th Street. And seen some brake lights eastbound 70 out of the 435 exchange. Other than that, traffic looking good across the Kansas City Metro. Big savings are rolling in at Metro Ford. Get $12,000 off new 24 Expeditions, up to $10,000 off 24 Escapes. Looking for an F-150? We've got the best selection in the city. Plus, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Stop by Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence or visit kcmetroford.com today. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
This report is brought to you by Kalshi. Visit KALSHI.com and use code RADIO.
Sports trading is now legal in all 50 states on the platform Kalshi. Kalshi is an exchange where you can trade on just about anything, including the winner of this weekend's big game. Go to Kalshi.com and use code RADIO to get $10 when you trade 100. That's KALSHI.com. Use code RADIO.
Super Bowl 59, one game, two teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. So it doesn't matter if you're predicting who's going to score the first touchdown or who's going to win the MVP trophy. FanDuel makes it easy to place your favorite wagers and feel the thrill of the moment. And with live betting all game, you can jump right into the action and ride that wave from kickoff to the final whistle. Plus, to make the Super Bowl even sweeter, new customers can score $200 when you make your first bet. Yes, place a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. So download the app or head to FanDuel.com, use my promo code KFNZ, and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59 and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Art Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Rally House. Shop every team in town.
College
and pro.
Come on, it's time to go.
We're New Orleans bound, KC. Shop the largest selection of Chiefs, AFC champions, and Super Bowl gear at Rally House. New postseason styles arriving daily.
Kansas, Missouri, Kansas State. Chiefs and Royals make KC great. Rally House.
Rally House.
It's your city, it's your house. It's the Rally House.
Limited quantity. Selection varies by location. Shop rallyhouse.com.
Pheasants Forever's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic is coming to the Kansas City Convention Center this March 7th through the 9th. Join us for puppy and dog training seminars, a youth village for kids, pollinator and wildlife habitat hunting gear, in the 20th anniversary of Quail Forever. It's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic the weekend of March 7th. Presented by Pheasants Forever, Quail Forever, and Federal Ammunition. For more information, log on to pheasantfest.org.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
When you have an expert financial partner invested in you, you can't help but feel like a star. Like the new graduate opening their first investment account, the small business owner proudly adding a new location, or the young couple buying their first home. At Community America, we're invested in helping members achieve financial peace of mind with products and services tailored to each stage of life. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Fall in love with your home comfort this season and save money too. A $69 heating system tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter is the best way to ensure your HVAC system is operating at top efficiency. Boost your comfort and help prevent breakdowns by calling the experts at Hamilton today. With over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, the pros at Hamilton are your best bet. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2024-11121.
It's Brian Baldinger with the Journey to the Big Game presented by Hyundai. After stunning top-seeded Detroit, Washington will face off in Philadelphia in an heated rivalry, game to punch their ticket to the big game. On the other side, led by their star quarterback, Kansas City will look to push their luck for a three-peat against the surging Buffalo team. Now you can buy a new Hyundai from the comfort of your own home at Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for more detail.
For over 87 years, GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, has offered health and dental benefits designed to meet the unique needs of federal employees and retirees, military retirees, and their families. With over 2 million members and growing, GEHA continues to serve those members and families who serve us all every day. At GEHA, your health is not our business, it's our purpose. GEHA, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Learn more at GEHA.com. Touchdown! Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Tackle your airport parking needs at Park & Go. Always the best service and always the best price at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7 and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and operated.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Chiefs football. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. He's been in the locker room since 2018 and has seen the Chiefs make the AFC title game every year. Coincidence? Who knows? But no one is more plugged into your Chiefs than Nate Taylor of The Athletic.
I know the Chiefs are probably calling teams to be like, hey, 6th-round pick, and I don't know if anybody's going to bite on that sort of trade offer.
And he joins CDOT every Friday at 4, right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Nate Taylor, who covers the Kansas City Chiefs for The Athletic. His appearance on the show is presented by Mark Ferguson. We all make mistakes. Let Mark and his legal team make the best of them. Call this phone number, 816-221-1750. Nate, how you doing today, my man?
I'm great, man. I'm alive. That's what matters.
You know what? That is all that matters. You sound tired.
I am, I'm running on, and I hope people respect this and appreciate it. I'm running on water, coffee, Gatorade, water, Gatorade, water, Gatorade, coffee. That's just round the clock, baby.
Where would you rank New Orleans as a Super Bowl city? I mean, you got Vegas last year, New Orleans won.
One. I was hoping you were going to ask me this question because now that it's Friday, I've been here enough because I got here Monday afternoon. It's one. Weather is perfect, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot stress to you enough. I know that my hometown, we still in winter. It's spring over here, y'all. It's so nice. The jazz, incredible. The food, so freaking delicious. Yeah, man. There's just people walking the street with drinks. It kind of boggles my mind still, even though I've been in New Orleans a number of times, Carrington. That it's just like, hey, you want a hand grenade? You want a hurricane? You want a tornado? You're like, what natural disaster don't I want? So if you can manage it, New Orleans is a great city, and now I totally understand why they have I think this is the 11th Super Bowl. They should honestly have it like every other year, every third year. I don't care, but it I can understand from a proximity standpoint, the vibes, the culture. I've never been in this, obviously being in the Superdome, so you're going to have a controlled environment for the game. It's like a perfect Super Bowl setting.
Right now, we're talking to our guy, Nate Taylor, getting his thoughts on all things New Orleans. When you are looking and you're seeing the fans, you've been there since Monday, and obviously it's going to pick up over the next couple of days as the weekend is about to start and we get closer to the game. Would you say it's more Chiefs fans, more Eagles fans? Is it split? What's the breakdown?
It's more Eagles fans. And I've been talking to some other, national reporters who come to the Super Bowl every year and been like, what do you think? That isn't to say that, like, Chiefs fans aren't here. Clearly they are. I got some friends who are coming down, like they might be in the air as we're speaking. But I think Eagles fans here are 2-1, maybe. And part of this is it costs a lot of money to come to the Super Bowl. Like, as much as I want to say, like, it's great, you should come to New Orleans, hop on a plane. Like, it costs money. And the Chiefs have been in 5 of 6 Super Bowls, Carrington. So, it makes sense for, like, the Eagles who are like, hey, this is our second time in 4 years. Hey, it's New Orleans. It's, it's a short flight. It's a direct flight. Like, you can make it work. I don't know what it's going to be like in the stadium on Sunday, but I felt very similar, and that was more, I think, location. Last year, all I saw were Niner fans because it's just a simple drive, especially if you're from California, to Las Vegas. That doesn't mean that there's going to be like a home field kind of advantage for the Eagles. I think that would be a bit too far, but there are more Eagles fans that I've seen in the city right now than Chiefs fans.
You've obviously interacted with a lot of media people. What's the tone amongst the media? Are a lot of people picking the Chiefs in this one? Are a lot of people picking the Eagles? Last year, I felt like it maybe leaned Chiefs just because of Mahomes, that he was the difference. Yep. Are you getting that same sense for this one?
Here's what I think is happening, Carrington. We are living in a time of real Chiefs fatigue because all I hear now is from my peers ways that the Eagles can win this game. And it's almost like we're big braining it too much. And that's okay. I mean, I get it, but I do think we're getting a growing I think there's been growing momentum that, like, people are like, well, the Eagles are really good and they have this, and, like, at least this won't be Jalen's first time, and Nick Sirianni's he has gotten better as a head coach. I don't know if he has better coordinators than he had 2 years ago, but look, Vic Fangio has been a head coach, been a great defensive coordinator in this league. So has Kellen Moore. He's likely to get the head opportunity here in New Orleans. But I have eyes, and I've seen things, and I have to remind people that Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Steve Spagnuolo, Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, they're kind of important. But I do think a lot of people are because of the fatigue, because of the dynasty, that they might pick the other way for reasons that aren't entirely tied to football.
Right now, we're talking to our guy, Nate Taylor, getting his thoughts on the Super Bowl as he is down in New Orleans. This is how I prefaced it. I think you're a great person to ask this question to because you were there for the first Super Bowl against Philadelphia. It felt like that Super Bowl was much more about off-the-field storylines. It was about Andy going up against his former team. Donna Kelce really became a star the last time that these two teams met in the Super Bowl. This one feels a little bit more game-centric because of the Chiefs' pursuit of trying to get their third straight Super Bowl and doing something that no one has done before. And then on the flip side with Philadelphia, I mean, Saquon has had a pretty miraculous season. I made the point earlier that if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, this is going to be Saquon's Broncos year, where we saw with Terrell Davis, where Terrell Davis ran for 2,000 yards, won MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and that year obviously propelled him to the Hall of Fame. This game feels to me a lot more centered around football than the last one was.
Yeah, and let's not forget too, Carrington, because you're right on the money. The Kelce Brothers podcast had really taken off that year. And it, of course, crescendoed to what it is now based on the fact that they were both playing in the NFL and they were both going to face each other in the Super Bowl. It elevated them to beyond football culture, but like Americana pop culture. So, yeah, there's much more of this tied to football now. I feel like the game is really about Saquon Barkley. this is his moment. I don't know if he's ever going to get back to another Super Bowl. You could say that obviously for a lot of guys, but the Chiefs have been here already. We've seen that. Again, that's why people have fatigue. But Saquon, as you said, has had a historic season. And it's really fascinating to me that last year it was Christian McCaffrey. And now this year is another version of like this dude that's had an incredible season. The Eagles are going to need him to play amazing. They're going to need him to break tackles, to have some home runs, style runs, which the Chiefs don't usually give up. Like they may give up one big run in a playoff game, but we don't see that happen a ton. So he's just going to have to play outside of his norm. He may have to even be an effective weapon catching the ball out of the backfield, which is more Christian McCaffrey's style than the traditional run away from you that Saquon presents. This game is really about, can Jalen Hurts stay out of third and long? And the only way he can do that is if he hands the ball to Saquon Barkley about 35 times. I think Nick Sirianni needs to keep this game as simple as possible and hope that your best player is just the best player on the field that day. And obviously that'll include Kelsey and Mahomes, but I don't know if Jalen Hurts should be dropping back 40 times. If that happens, something's not horribly wrong. And I just think from a schematic advantage, the whole game swings towards the Chiefs once Steve Spagnuolo is given a 3rd and 7 or a 3rd and 10. I don't know how the Eagles are going to hold up from a blitzing standpoint. So the only way to get into more manageable third downs is to lean on your running back. And, because this game is given 2 weeks, he's as healthy as you could ask, a running back who's had this much production, this much of a burden on his legs all season.
That's one of my big points and why I'm picking Kansas City is if you look at Jalen Hurts, he has really struggled against the blitz this year. And you and I both know there are going to be 2 or 3 timed Spags blitzes that I'm guessing the Chiefs are going to win those snaps. That happened in the AFC Championship game on the most important play of the game. Spags dials one up with your best cover corner, and I think it threw Josh Allen off and forced him to make a bad decision and a bad play. I don't trust Jalen Hurts in this game to kind of hold up against Spags, especially with you are looking at a Chiefs team that is fully healthy on defense and has been studying this Philadelphia Eagles tendencies for the last 14 days or so.
Yes, perfect. Perfectly said. Like, cannot agree more. What I'll add to it, Carrington, is I rewatched the game 2 years ago. The most important blitz occurred in the second half, and he did not have an answer. And the Chiefs blitzed him in a way that he could not run for the first down. Very similar to what we saw on 4th and 5 with Josh Allen. Hey, man, you're known for scrambling. You can get the yards with your legs. We're not going to allow you to do that. One of the tendencies that I think Chiefs fans should be mindful of on Sunday is, okay, let's say it's 3rd and 7, big money down. Jalen Hurts has been pretty good this year against man-to-man coverage, which might lead one to say, what if it's an overload pressure? What if it's a fire zone blitz? What if it's something so exotic that you just can't look to A.J. Brown and see man-to-man coverage and just throw the ball there? Because that should be what Jalen Hurts' reaction should always be to the blitz. Hey, where the hell is A.J. Brown? Just throw it up there. But if you got guys closing windows and you have pressure in your face, that might lead to a turnover or two. So even though he's good against man-to-man coverage because he has A.J. Brown, because he has Devontae Smith, because he has those receivers, I actually think Spags might go with more zone pressures, more zone blitzes that force Jalen to have to hold the ball an extra second and recognize how the coverage is rolling to one of the 2 receivers instead of just throwing a 50-50 jump ball, in particular for A.J. Brown.
Nate, how do you feel the Chiefs' defense matches up against Saquon Barkley? Because if you're looking at the numbers, only one player has run for over 100 yards against Spags' defense, and there's only been 2 players over the last 2 seasons that have run for over 100 yards against Kansas City. There's been some wide receivers who have had success against the Chiefs' defense. There haven't really been many running backs. And if Philadelphia is going to win this game, it's going to be predicated on the fact that Saquon is special and Saquon breaks 1 or 2 long runs.
Yep. I think this game really comes down to Mike Pennell, Leo Chenal, and Justin Reed, because I think Justin Reed's going to be the safety that's more in the box than maybe like Jaden Hicks or Brian Cook. Those guys are more coverage-based safeties, where I think Justin Reed can do a little bit of everything. So you'll bring him down into the box, especially if the Eagles want to go kind of RPO heavy, where you force the defensive ends to at least watch who gets the ball. When it comes to run blitzes, I think Spags will mostly use Leo Chenal and Drew Tranquil. And then, last year, Mike Pennell was so good in the Super Bowl because he had 2 weeks to rest his body. He's 30, but when he's right, he can stonewall just about anybody. I mean, there was a snap that I think a lot of Chiefs fans remember from last year where he literally tossed Trent Williams like he was a rag doll before swallowing Christian McCaffrey. He's going to have those kind of plays in this game, because if he's successful against the run, then that will lead Chris Jones to sort of shoot gaps to some form of penetration. And it's like, hey, maybe Saquon has to bounce it outside. And, oh, by the way, here's Leo Chenal, because Mike Pennell has not been moved from the line of scrimmage. Chris Jones has, shot through a B gap, and you have Leo Chenal and like Nick Bolton ready to, combo tackle Saquon Barkley. That should be the game plan, because if Saquon does break off a great, run or two, it'll keep the game close. It'll keep the game to be interesting. And what you don't want, which I know is what the Eagles want, is you don't want the Eagles on the field with 4 minutes to go, trying to protect, let's say, a 4-point lead, and they can just hand the ball, honestly, to Saquon for 3 downs. And then if it's 4th and 1, we all know what's going to come. We all know it's going to be the tush push. So you don't want to be in that scenario. So Mike Pennell, Chris Jones, Drew Tranquil, and Leo Chenal really, I think, need to have a great game in the interior so that you don't see as many tush pushes as like Washington had to sort of, live through in the NFC Championship game.
Right now, we're joined by Nate Taylor, Kansas City Chiefs beat writer for The Athletic, joining us on the show today, getting you ready for Super Bowl 59. When you watch Philadelphia's defense, what stands out to you? How do you think they match up against Kansas City's offense?
What stands out to me is that they are younger than they were 2 years ago, which means they have just honestly better playmakers. They don't – I want to remind people, 2 years ago, there was this thing about Philly. Hey, we had Bradbury and we had Darius Slay, and we just said, hey, boys, keep everything in front of you because we getting home with 4. We just going to maul people right up front. They had 70 sacks. But if you could block them, let's say, if we're playing on the same field and it's a little slippery because, they overpainted the field or overwatered it or the, condensation levels didn't get right with the game being played in Arizona, well – there was holes to be had. And guess what, guys? Patrick Mahomes only had 1 incompletion in the entire second half. So the Eagles, having learned from that game, were like, hey, our defense just can't be the pass rush. We need to have much better, more dynamic players in the secondary. They have a lot more speed. They match up about as well as you could ask for Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. I love Cooper Jazeen. I know that Darius Slay is still a very good corner. He might be matched up more with DeAndre Hopkins. You know who I haven't named, Carrington? They still don't have an answer for Travis Kelce. So if you could get a deep ball over their heads one time in the first half, that creates so much space for Travis Kelce to sort of manipulate, be open in zone coverage. I think that Mahomes' scramble ability and him being in sync with Travis Kelce is probably the biggest way the Chiefs can exploit the Eagles' coverage, because the Eagles are still good up front, but they're not solely reliant on we have to get home with 4 or we have to get home with 5, because they have better cover corners on the outside, but I still don't think they have anybody from a safety linebacker standpoint who should run and be toe-to-toe with Travis Kelce when you got to have it on the red zone or on 3rd down.
Nate, give me a Chiefs X-Factor player. I mean, in these Super Bowl games, usually somebody steps up. You had Damian Williams in the first Super Bowl that had 3 touchdowns. You had Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney score a touchdown. Kadarius Toney had the longest punt return in the history of the Super Bowl. McCole Hardman had the game-winning touchdown last year. You obviously do it with Isaiah Pacheco. You do it with, Travis Kelce. But usually there is that other kind of player or two that steps up and makes a play. Who do you think that could potentially be for the Chiefs?
I will offer up 2 suggestions, Carrington. The first one is Nico Remigio. Guys, they may have found something on special teams with Nico. He had the 63-yard kickoff return to start the playoffs. Now, he fumbled, and they recovered it. But he had the 41 stop-and-start punt return against the Bills. And both of those returns set up points, right? The second one set up a touchdown for the Chiefs against the Bills. The Eagles could be had on special teams. I'll just say it. Now, the Eagles are good at forcing fumbles on special teams, so you need to tell Nico Remigio to hold on to the ball. But there might be a return, not as dazzling as Kadarius Toney, because I don't think I'll ever see a highlight that incredible again. But he could have a kickoff or a punt return that could really swing the momentum in the Chiefs' favor, that could give them a short field, and you probably, expect Patrick Mahomes to cash in with the touchdown. The other guy I would mention, and he's been vital since the playoffs began, is Jalen Watson. Because now you can blitz Trent McDuffie. You can have, maybe Jaden Hicks blitzing, or you could do so many exotic things on the back end because, hey, we have just another competent defender not named Najee Johnson. I love Najee Johnson, but Najee Johnson he has struggled this year in man-to-man situations, and that's why Jalen Watson is so important. He came back from the postseason, and it wasn't like there were just wide-open voids in the Chiefs' coverages. If Jalen Watson can hold up and hold his own against A.J. Brown, ooh, buddy, now it gets really, really interesting to see where the other answer is for Jalen Hurts. So I would almost guarantee that if Nico Remigio does something well in this game and Jalen Watson is not a liability, the Chiefs are going to be three-peat champions.
This is the last time this season I'll be able to ask you this. Give me your Chiefs win-if scenario. Give me your Eagles win-if scenario for Super Bowl 59.
Chiefs win if they don't get over their heads. It's very simple. It's psychological at this point because they know that history's on the line. If they are who they have been for much of the season, especially since like December 15th, they're going to win the Super Bowl. They're the better team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coach. I know I say it every week, Carrington, but it's true. And we should all understand that, like, Steve Spagnuolo will probably do something that'll be, very interesting, and we'll see what the results of those are. The Eagles win if the Chiefs turn the ball over more than twice, or the Chiefs turn the ball over twice or more. Saquon is incredible, which is definitely a possibility. And Jalen Hurts, with the Super Bowl on the line, makes a play. We will always remember that, hey, man, Doug Williams said, look, I'm going to throw it up. And you know what? He met the moment, and that's why he's a legend. Matthew Stafford said, I don't care if it's, 2 minutes left in the game. I'm going to no-look this thing, and it's going to be on the money to Cooper Kupp, and we're going to score a touchdown to win the game. Your quarterback, at some point in the Super Bowl, has to rise up and meet the moment and make an incredible play. We've seen Patrick Mahomes do it. I don't need to go through all those examples. We have 3 of them. We need Jalen Hurts needs to have a moment. He needs to execute in a way that Josh Allen couldn't in the fourth quarter of what will likely be a close Super Bowl, and that would be the reason why the Eagles would chase down the Chiefs in a way that nobody has done this season. It's fascinating to me, Carrington, that the Chiefs have played every opponent this season, and they have beat all of them. They will only get one chance at the Eagles. The Eagles will only get one chance at them. And I believe the Chiefs will be well prepared for this game. But you never know because Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley have been paired up beautifully. And when they've given the ball to Saquon with a chance to win the game, he usually runs into the end zone. So this is going to be compelling, but I do believe if Mahomes has a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter, you have to trust him more than Jalen Hurts, which is why it will be compelling And fascinating, honestly, if Jalen Hurts gets the ball with 2 minutes left with a chance to win the game. I have no idea what the outcome is going to be. So I'll say Chiefs, but there was plenty of reasons as to why the Eagles could pull off an upset.
And that is our guy, Nate Taylor. His appearance on the show is presented by Mark Ferguson. We all make mistakes, so let Mark and his legal team make the best of them. Call 816-221-1750. Shout out to Mark Ferguson. Nate, man, I look forward to either seeing you at the parade or we will be getting ready for the offseason the next time that you and I talk, man. I appreciate you coming on the show today, man. Enjoy your weekend in New Orleans.
Thank you. I will, Carrington, and thank you all season, man. It's been a fun ride, and can't wait to see how it ends on Sunday.
Absolutely. That is our guy, Nate Taylor, joining us on the show today. He is the Chiefs beat writer for The Athletic. Coming up on the other side, I'll give you my Chiefs X Factors for Sunday. I'll give you my Eagles X Factors for Sunday. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. My team knows injury law. We can help you understand all of your legal rights so that you don't get cheated.
DM Law knew what to do and got me $350,000.
Mike's got this.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Well, hey, folks, the big game is right around the corner, and I'm trying to get you set up with some legendary Kansas City eats as we watch the hometown team compete on Sunday. There's no better place to do that than with my friends over at Gates Barbecue. They got party trays, which are great for family get-togethers, tailgating, or for your big game party. Listen to this. They even got wing trays. Go in there, and you can get you a small party tray, a large party tray. Maybe you're doing it big. You're getting the presidential platter. And then off to the side, get yourself a wing tray. 12 wings, 14 wings, 24 wings, however many you need. Go hit them up over any one of the Area 5 locations. They'll get you set up. Maybe you plan on doing your own little bit of cooking for the big game. Maybe you want to handle it yourself. Well, the next time you go to the grocery store to get ready for Sunday's matchup, make sure that you have the classic Gates sauce and seasonings for whatever your game meal is going to be. It's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here reminding you that as we watch the big game on Sunday, the best food that you can have to celebrate a Kansas City win is some Kansas City barbecue with my friends over at Gates.
Kansas City is gearing up for their third straight championship title game, and Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need to rep your team during their historic run. Swing by your local Academy store today or shop online at academy.com to find officially licensed team gear in game-changing styles, from jerseys and tees to hoodies and hats, all at prices you'll love. Get the best KC gear for the biggest game of the year. Shop Nike, 47 brand, and more Kansas City styles at Academy.
If you're hearing this, you're in Chiefs Kingdom, the land of champions. And what do champions do? They win. Play the world champions Kansas City Chiefs instant ticket from the Kansas Lottery for a chance to win up to $75,000. Or enter your tickets into the Play On app for a chance to win one-of-a-kind Chiefs experiences. Because the only thing better than winning is winning again. See kslottery.com for details.
Hey, it's Karen with Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Ready to replace that roof? We have flexible financing options, 12 months same as cash, and don't make a payment for 90 days. And that's just one of many options we offer. Get on the schedule now with our in-house Consumer Credit Center. One call does it all for flexible payment options, affordability, and peace of mind. Visit shamrockroofer.com. That's shamrockroofer.com or call 1-866-932-3545 today.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7
$7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business.
Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it, and will beat any print quote.
Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs.
No problem.
I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens.
Totally.
I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing.
I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
What's up, football fans? Are you excited for the big game and ready to get in on the action? Look no further than the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Sign up using bonus code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, to get up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Be sure to lock in your picks on this year's big game in New Orleans with the Sportsbook born in Vegas. Earn MGM rewards points from your bets, take advantage of offers found nowhere else, and look out for surprise rewards dropping in your account all year. There's no better place to enjoy the big game than BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age and older. This specific promotional offer is not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
We are seeing some brake lights eastbound 70 out of the 435 exchange. Slow into downtown via northbound 35. Also northbound 71 showing some stop and go as you head into the downtown area. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Justin Reed. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home of Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Thrilled, delighted, excited to be here with you on this wonderful Friday, getting you ready for Super Bowl 59. All right, let me give you my 4 X factors. I'm going to give you 2 X factors for the Chiefs. I'm going to give you 2 X factors for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what? Let's start with the Eagles this time. Now, I know I got fooled the last time. And I had my X factor in the AFC Championship game be Dalton Kincaid, because the Chiefs usually give up yards to tight ends, and they did a pretty decent job against Dalton Kincaid. But you know what? I am not going to let that move me off my point. I am going to take Philadelphia Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert. He is going to be my X factor. Number one, Dallas Goedert is a better player than Dalton Kincaid. And if you look at his postseason, 47 yards against the Packers, 56 yards against the Rams. He had 7 catches for 85 yards in the NFC Championship game against the Commanders. We are talking about a guy who is playing his best football at the right time, going up against a defense that has struggled against tight ends, and you're just not going to be able to stop everybody. What makes the Eagles so dangerous is the amount of weapons that you have. You got to account for Saquon Barkley. You also got to account for the great wide receivers that they have, and Dallas Goedert is right there just sitting in the middle of the field, picking up 40, 50, 60 yards. I'm going to give Dallas Goedert my X factor as the 3rd, 4th option for the Philadelphia offense. I'm going to give the Chiefs offensive X factor. Now, you guys know that I really like Kareem Hunt, but he's their number 1 running back. I don't think he really fits the theme of what we're talking about. I'm going to pick Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, in these games, there's usually an unsung hero at wide receiver that makes a play. Sammy Watkins had a big catch in the first Super Bowl win against San Francisco. Mecole Hardman caught the game-winning touchdown in last year's Super Bowl. Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney caught touchdowns in the second Super Bowl win. You see where I'm getting at. One of the other wide receivers is going to make a play. So is it going to be Justin Watson? Is it going to be Juju Smith-Schuster? Maybe it could be a Hollywood Brown in this game. Maybe it's a tight end and it's a Noah Gray. You know what? I'm going to go with Juju Smith-Schuster. He played well in the Super Bowl the last time that these two teams met each other. He played well in the AFC Championship game, and you obviously know that the trust is there between he and Patrick Mahomes. So one of my X factors is going to be Dallas Goedert for Philadelphia. My X factor for Kansas City is going to be Juju Smith-Schuster on offense. All right, now let's switch things over and let's go to the defensive side of the ball. If you are Kansas City, you brought Jalen Watson back to play in this game. This is the best wide receiver room that you have gone up against since Jalen Watson has returned. If you put Trent McDuffie on either Devontae Smith or you put him on A.J. Brown, what are you going to do about the other option? This is a team that has two legitimate number one options. Devontae Smith would be a number one option on 25, 26 teams in the National Football League. A.J. Brown is maybe one of the 5 best receivers in the league. You need Jalen Watson for a game like this. He is an X factor. How do you do against that second option? So I'm going to give Jalen Watson one of my X factors. And the other one I'm going to give it to Nolan Smith. Now, he's a player that if you're a big college football fan, you certainly remember that name from Georgia. He has had a very, very good season. He has 6.5 sacks in the regular season. In the postseason, he's been playing really well. He's had 4 sacks so far in their 3 playoff games. And I looked it up. He is playing in 80% of the defensive snaps for the Philadelphia Eagles. So he is a guy that is really starting to figure it out. He's playing his best ball at the end of the season. So that's going to be my X factor for the Eagles. So those are my 4 X factors in this game. Dallas Goedert and Nolan Smith for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm going to go Juju Smith-Schuster and Jalen Watson. Those are going to be my 2 X factors for Kansas City. Rob, do you have somebody that you like as an X factor for Super Bowl 59?
Noah Gray. Noah Gray is a guy we talked about a lot this year. He got a lot of targets early in the season. There was a time where we had a real-life conversation on this show if, hey, Noah Gray is getting more play, snaps, targets than Travis Kelce. Like, have they started to pivot away? Now, that was about a week's worth of conversation. It changed immediately. But Noah Gray was a guy this team trusted. He has not been very heavily targeted down the stretch. But you just heard from Nate Taylor. He talked about how, hey, they don't have anyone that can cover Travis Kelce, and they don't. But if they don't have anyone that can cover Travis Kelce, he'll get all the eyeballs on him. If they can't cover tight ends, Noah Gray has a chance to really get out there and make an impact on this game. He was a guy me and you trusted earlier in the season. I think Pat trusts him. If they struggle with tight ends, it's more than just Travis Kelce with the Chiefs. I think Noah Gray could be an X factor on Sunday.
Yeah, I do wonder with Noah Gray, now that guys are coming back healthy, and you mentioned Hollywood Brown earlier in the week, I just wonder if there's enough food for everybody. Do you want to know the last time that Noah Gray had more than 25 yards receiving in a game?
Was it the game at the Bills?
It was the 8th of December.
Yikes.
Think about that. They've played 6 games since then. He hasn't had more than 25 yards. So I understand what you're saying. And could Noah Gray have 4 catches for 40 yards in this? Certainly. It really feels like they've just kind of moved in a different direction. There was that stretch, and it kind of almost coincided whenever Xavier Worthy wasn't playing well. But once Xavier Worthy's got going, Juju had a big AFC championship game. You've also gotten Hollywood Brown back. It just kind of feels like Noah Gray has maybe faded into the background just a little bit and is maybe not one of the marquee kind of passing options for this team the way that he was. And especially if you think that Travis Kelce is going to play well and you're going to get a playoff Trav, it's just going to be really tough, I think, for him to kind of have those yards and have one of those big days. I want to play this audio for you guys. This is from Sean Payton, head coach of the Denver Broncos. He thinks that Kansas City has an advantage in this game when it comes to special teams.
I think there's a significant edge in the kicking game for Kansas City. And I said it 2 years ago with Fox.
This is why I love you. You're so crazy.
No,
really?
Well, Tobe's one of the better special teams coordinators. And it's not a sexy storyline. And so when I said it on Fox 2 years ago, here it is, fourth quarter, and there goes Tony with a 41-yard punt return that set up the leading score. So I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I think we got 2 of the better defenses playing. I think we got 2 of the better defensive coordinators coaching. in Spagnuolo and Fangio. And so I'm not allowed to talk about over and unders and all that.
I know that.
But just
you
pay
can talk about those Spags blitzes though, and what you know.
So I think
how
it's going to
unique
be a
they
lower
are.
scoring game,
Okay.
and I think the margin. I do think this Philadelphia team is better than the Philadelphia team they played 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. This is a better Philadelphia team, and I think the kicking game can be significant.
I really think that Nico Remigio is going to be a factor in this game, and whether it's the kick or punt return for Kansas City. In the 2 playoff games they've had so far, he had a big kick return against Houston that got the first points on the board. He had a 40-yard punt return against Buffalo in the AFC Championship game. You remember the NFL made a change after last year's Super Bowl. There was no kick returns in last year's Super Bowl. Game went to overtime. Didn't have a single kick return. League, next game, changes the rules to put some excitement back into the game. I think that the special teams, and more specifically the fact that you just see more returns, opens yourself up to a possibility of there being a big play. I think the special teams is going to be a big factor in this game. Kansas City has the kicking advantage. I also think that Nico Remigio, who has really been trending upwards, I think there's a chance that he makes a big play in Sunday's Super Bowl. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the top stories as we continue to get you ready for Super Bowl 59. We'll go through the 5 most popular bets for Sunday's Super Bowl. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The big game is right around the corner. There's no better place to watch the game at than with my friends over at The Other Place with 5 locations around Kansas City. It is the one-of-a-kind game day experience. It's the next best thing of actually being able to go down to New Orleans, and they've got some incredible specials. 14-inch 2-topping pizza for just $12. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12. So if you want a one-of-a-kind game day experience and you want to catch the big game, stop by and see my friends over at The Other Place.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Jewelry Gram, it's your friends at Shane Company here to remind you that Valentine's Day is Friday, February 14th. It's the most romantic day of the year to give and get fine jewelry. We have expertly crafted gifts for every type of sweetheart. For the one, we'll help you propose with the dream engagement ring. Come see our wide selection of hand-picked natural and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes. In stock and ready to compare side by side right here in our store. Or maybe you'll fall in love with the natural colorful gemstone. At Shane Company, we're known for our sapphires in every color of the rainbow. We have options for every style and budget. Get creative and design a custom necklace with meaningful charms, including 14-karat gold letters, engravable hearts, and birthstones. Our mother-of-pearl heart-shaped collection makes a perfect gift that's ready to give. At Shane Company, love is always in the air with our unmatched free lifetime warranty, everyday competitive prices, and no-pressure shopping experience. Come see us in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I'm Michael Jenkins with a Sports Betting Minute brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. How about we go to a player prop in the big game featuring Philadelphia and Kansas City? The Philly tight end is getting a ton of money to go over his receiving yards total, and the number has gone up, but we still believe it's the right side. Philly's big guys hit the number in 3 of his last 4 games, going for 85 yards in the conference championship game against Washington, and he's been utilized even more in the offense as the season has progressed. Plus, with Philly leaning on their ground game and attracting so much of Kansas City's focus, we might see the Philly tight end grabbing dump-off passes or making catches across the middle. Let's go over his receiving yards total for the Philly tight end. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app and take your game to the next level with the Sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Kansas City is gearing up for their third straight championship title game, and Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need to rep your team during their historic run. Swing by your local Academy store today or shop online at academy.com to find officially licensed team gear in game-changing styles, from jerseys and tees to hoodies and hats, all at prices you'll love. Get the best KC gear for the biggest game of the year. Shop Nike, 47 brand, and more Kansas City styles at Academy.
Big game coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Community America Credit Union. Member owned, open to all, invested in you. Join today at communityamerica.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Brake lights into downtown via northbound 35, into downtown via southbound 35 out of North Kansas City as well. Looking at a stalled car on the right shoulder, little distraction northbound 435 at 350 highway. Big savings are rolling in at Metro Ford. Get $12,000 off new 24 Expedition, up to $10,000 off 24 Escapes. Looking for an F-150? We've got the best selection in the city. Plus, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Stop by Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence or visit kcmetroford.com today. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Patrick Mahomes joins CDOT every week during the season, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will get back to the top story. I will tell you guys why I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs to make the Super Bowl. Now, let me tell you, I am shocked, stunned, floored that Eli Manning was not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, I thought the NFL had this thing cooking up. I just saw the wrong brother angle. I thought it was going to be about the first family of football. Eli, Peyton, Archie, Arch, who's going to be starting at Texas next year, Cooper. I thought we were going to get the Manning family portrait. I forgot about Shannon. Shannon has a brother, and his brother's been waiting to get into the Hall of Fame. I mean, man, they had that thing set up. They've been boosting the profile for Shannon Sharp the last couple of years. He had that explosive interview with Cat Williams last year. He had that Instagram situation. They've been building Shannon up for this moment. So Shannon could tell his brother that he's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I can't believe I didn't see that one coming. I was paying attention to the wrong Manning, the wrong brother. I missed it. Now, I believe that Eli is going to get in at some point. I do. I think there was a big, we don't want him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, he didn't really come close to making it to the Hall of Fame. Now, maybe I will end up being wrong over time, but I kind of feel like a lot of people felt how I felt. I mean, Eli might get in. He shouldn't get in on the first try. Look at the quarterbacks that get in on the first try. That's not what Eli was. So I think the committee made the right decision in leaving Eli out. Now, the competition's about to get stiff. Next year, you got Drew Brees, you got Larry Fitzgerald, so we got a couple of more surefire first ballot Hall of Famers. It is going to continue to get tough, but I do think that Eli Manning eventually gets into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I actually don't have many complaints about what we saw. I do notice this because you guys give me a hard time for my feelings on Mike Evans. If Torrey Holt is having a such time getting in, you got to tell me why Mike Evans is for sure a Hall of Famer and Torrey Holt is not. At this point, they have played the same number of seasons. Torrey Holt played 11 seasons. Mike Evans just finished his 11th season. Torrey Holt had more catches, more yards, was a first-team All-Pro. Mike Evans has never done that before, and Torrey Pro is on the 2000s All-Decade team. You got to tell me what makes Mike Evans a Hall of Famer and why Torrey Holt is having such a tough time. Torrey Holt might get in eventually. I don't think Mike Evans is the lock that you guys think that he is, but you know what? I'm fine to be on that island alone. I like it over here. It's spacious. All right, I do want to do this. Rob, I would like for us to go through the 5 most popular bets for Super Bowl 59, and we're going to play a very simple game. Is this something that you would play, or is this something you would pass on? Let's play this for Super Bowl 59, and this segment is sponsored by our friends over at Twin Peaks, where you can eat, drink, and see the scenic views. Let's get to it, Rob.
Carrington, first one is seamless and perfect. One of the most bet overs are from our friends over at BetMGM. Dallas Goedert, one of your X factors, his over at 49.5 receiving yards. Carrington, he's an X factor of yours. Would you play the over with Dallas Goedert, or would you just pass?
I got to take the over here. 47 yards against Green Bay, 56 yards against the Rams, 85 yards against the Commander. This is the best stretch that he has had so far this season. Kansas City struggles against tight ends. I like that number for Dallas Goedert. I'm going to take him in the middle of the field. I actually would maybe play this on more of an alternate line and maybe try to get this to 60 or 70. I think Dallas Goedert is going to play well on Sunday. Go ahead and give me the play for Dallas Goedert over on passing yard.
Well, let's see how committed to Dallas Goedert you are, because one of the other top bets is Dallas Goedert over 4.5 receptions. I assume you're going to take the over if you think he's getting 60 yards. He's not exactly a big play machine, but are you playing the over of 4.5 receptions for Dallas Goedert?
You know what? This is going to sound contradictory. I'm going to pass on this. I'm not going to play it. He only would have hit the over on this on one of his last 6 games. He usually is in that 3 to 4 range. Now, you can hit your yards and not get the receptions that you need. So I actually would stay away from the receptions. I know he had 7 against the Commanders, but he had 3 straight games of 4 against the Rams, Packers, and Giants. Also, the Ravens, he had 3. So I wouldn't touch receptions. I'm just going to take the yards with Dallas Goedert. He maybe has one 20-yard catch and then has a couple of 11, 12-yard plays. Maybe he has 3 or 4 catches and hits his over on yards.
Eagles bets are clearly very popular, as one of the top 5 most played bets is Saquon Barkley over 112.5 rushing yards. That number seems very high to me to play the over, but Saquon Barkley might be running back like we've never seen before. Carrington, are you playing Barkley's over at 112.5, or are you just ignoring all that noise?
I'm going to pass on Saquon Barkley over-under on rushing. The Chiefs have only allowed one 100-yard rusher in the postseason during these last 20 games that Mahomes has played in. They have only allowed 2 100-yard rushers over the last 2 seasons, if you include the regular season and the postseason. Now, maybe Saquon runs for 100 yards. He probably will run for 100 yards. If you think he's going to hit the over on this, to me, you think he's going to run for 130 yards or more, and I'm just not sure on that. I would stay away from Saquon. If anything, I would sign up for Saquon for an anytime touchdown, and I would just include that in a parlay of other things that I like. I actually took that earlier. I had both teams to score a rushing touchdown. I got that at plus 140. It was a little bit of a boost boy, so I went ahead and grabbed that during one of the commercial breaks. I will bet on Saquon. I'm just not touching his yards. I'm staying away from this one.
Final 2 will go fast and up against it. Carrington, Xavier Worthy over 5.5 rushing yards. Basically, do you think Xavier Worthy is getting 6 or more on the ground?
You know what? I'm going to take Xavier Worthy's rushing yards in this one. I like the way that this one is trending. He would have hit the over in 2 of his last 3 games, and they certainly have been using him in the postseason to make sure that he can try to get that rushing total. We could even go further back than that. He would have hit the over in 4 of his last 5 games if you want to go back to the regular season with Xavier Worthy. So, yes, give me the over on Xavier Worthy. I will take it at, what was it again, 4.5?
5.5.
5.5, yes. Give me Xavier Worthy, a little end-around action.
Carrington, the final one that's very popular is one that I'm literally on, so I'm curious where you come on this. It is Patrick Mahomes over 5.5 rushing attempts, one of the most popular bets. Are you playing Patrick Mahomes running around 6 times? Or are you just ignoring this action?
See, this is where I think you're looking at it a little bit wrong here. It's not just him running around. It's also him kneeing the ball at the end of the game can also help you hit your over. Now, we know Mahomes can take off and run in these scenarios and use his legs to get a first down. But where you are betting at, if you think Kansas City is going to win this game, then you are going to take him to have a kneel down or 2 at the end of the game. I mean, look at the playoff games that they've had so far. He had 7 carries against Houston, had 11 carries against Buffalo. I like the over on Mahomes. That's actually one of my favorite plays for the game. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will get to the top story in Kansas City. The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl again. We are here getting you ready for Super Bowl 59. Our weekly parlay, our betting, is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, and see the scenic views. We'll get back to the Super Bowl coming up at the top of the hour. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Still seeing those slowdowns out of the 435 and 70 exchange via eastbound 70, also northbound 71 into downtown. Big savings are rolling in at Metro Ford. Get $12,000 off new 24 Expeditions, up to $10,000 off 24 Escapades. Looking for an F-150? They've got the best selection in the city, plus every new vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Stop by Metro Ford on Nolan Road in Independence or visit kcmetroford.com today. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
What's up, football fans? Are you excited for the big game and ready to get in on the action? Look no further than the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Sign up using bonus code KOSTOS, K-O-S-T-O-S, to get up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Be sure to lock in your picks on this year's big game in New Orleans with the Sportsbook born in Vegas. Earn MGM rewards points from your bets, take advantage of offers found nowhere else, and look out for surprise rewards dropping in your account all year. There's no better place to enjoy the big game than BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age and older. This specific promotional offer is not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Casey's has 8 new coffee roasts that have been described as having rich aromatics that entice any palate. But, we're not sure what that means, so we just call it darn good coffee. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. Now get a small hot coffee for 99 cents. See Casey's for details.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health.
The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most of us, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and your partner. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, and even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is that most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. At Heartland Men's Health, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases. In fact, if you're like most guys, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and maybe find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Whether you're riding with the Chiefs or the Eagles, FanDuel has yet another way for you to win big during Super Bowl 59. FanDuel has put together 2 parlays that feature an exclusive profit boost. If you think the Chiefs are going to win and their QB is going to throw over 225 passing yards, you can bet that and get bigger winnings if it hits. Or maybe you think the Eagles are going to win and that their star running back is going to have over 100 rushing yards. You get a profit boost on that too. Visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ to claim your exclusive profit boost. That's FanDuel.com/KFNZ to bet Super Bowl 59 on America's #1 sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 plus and present in Kansas City. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable profit bonus tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Pheasants Forever's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic is coming to the Kansas City Convention Center this March 7th through the 9th. Join us for puppy and dog training seminars, a youth village for kids, pollinator and wildlife habitat hunting gear in the 20th anniversary of Quail Forever. It's National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic the weekend of March 7th. Presented by Pheasants Forever, Quail Forever, and Federal Ammunition. For more information, log on to pheasantfest.org.
Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
You can listen to the play-by-play of the Chiefs and Eagles in Super Bowl 59 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. So excited to be here with you on this wonderful Friday, getting you ready for Super Bowl 59 between the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, we have a lot of time to break down this game. Let's get to it. This is where I would like to start. I would like to explain why I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. As you're heading home in the 5 o'clock hour, I want to be clear about who I am picking and why I'm picking Kansas City in this matchup. Let's start with number 1. And I had Rob look this up because I was very, very curious to get the numbers on this. And in 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, it has required a quarterback to take his team down the field. In 2020, the Chiefs got the ball with 5 minutes to go and they were down 3. Mahomes then puts them in position and scores a touchdown. Now it's Jimmy Garoppolo's turn. It's 2 minutes and 44 seconds left. They are down 4. All right, it's go time. Are you prepared to go win the Super Bowl? Niners go turnover on downs. 2021 was a blowout. We don't got to talk about it. 2022, Matthew Stafford. He gets the ball. 6 minutes left in the game. Down 4. Stafford, as they cooked Eli Apple. I'm talking about baked crisp apples. Scored a touchdown. All right, it is now on Joe Burrow. He has 90 seconds. Got the ball. Down 3. You got to get your team in the field goal range. Turnover on downs. Patrick Mahomes, the last 2 Super Bowls, the Chiefs got the ball in the first Eagles Super Bowl with 5 minutes to go, and they basically ran out the clock, kicking a field goal to win that Super Bowl. Last year against the San Francisco 49ers, the Chiefs get the ball down 3, less than 2 minutes to go. It's the game here. You need your quarterback to go down the field and make a play. Your running back is not saving you. Your offensive line is not saving you. You need to have a quarterback that you feel comfortable can go up and down the field and can get you in position to either get the necessary 3 points that you need or put your team in the end zone. I am 100% supremely confident in the Chiefs to win if this scenario presents itself. I'm not confident in Philadelphia and their quarterback and their ability to score. I want to play for you guys a stat from Trey Wingo, longtime ESPN host. You guys know who Trey Wingo is. Listen to this stat about Mahomes at the end of games. And if this game is going to be close, Vegas thinks it's going to be close. The Chiefs are a 1.5-point favorite. They think this is going to be a 27-24 type game. The Chiefs are the best team in the history of the NFL at winning those kinds of games.
Since 2001, there have been 125 drives in the NFL postseason where it was at least the fourth quarter and there was under a minute left to play, and the team on offense trailed by 7 or fewer at the start. These are your standard clutch moments for a football team, the do-or-die drive that win or lose critical games. Out of those 125 drives, only 40% of them saw the team on offense pull off the magic trick and get the points they needed. Some quarterbacks are pretty good at it, like Tom Brady, who's 5 of 11, 46%, or Drew Brees, who was 3 of 6, 50% in these situations. Only one quarterback, though, is a perfect 7 for 7, and that's Patrick Mahomes. When everyone says, what is his greatness? That's the thing that I cling to. In last year's Super Bowl, there was only one touchdown drive in that game. You know, the other touchdown the Chiefs got was off the muff punt, and he hit Marquez Valdez-Scantling on the first play after that. The only touchdown drive the Chiefs had in that game was in overtime, and it started with him converting on a 4th and 1 when they needed a touchdown to win the game. I've never seen anybody like it. I've never seen anybody do it like this more consistently and more regularly than him, and I think that's the biggest edge. And the Bills know this better than anybody. Josh Allen walked off that field with 13 seconds left in that divisional game 3 years ago, and somehow they didn't win that game.
What I do think is happening against Kansas City and what people are picking is, it's kind of like if you were picking against KU in the Big 12 in the mid-2000s. I mean, eventually, if you keep saying Baylor or Iowa State, you will be right. Eventually, Baylor won the league. Eventually, Iowa State won the league. Now, you'd have been wrong for 15 straight years, but eventually you would have got it right. I do feel if you said against the Eagles the first time that you like the coach and quarterback in Kansas City, but the Eagles have the better roster and that's why you're picking Philadelphia, you're wrong. Let's come back to next year. The same Chiefs team, new team, San Francisco. San Francisco had the star running back who was first team All-Pro. They had a great offensive line. They had weapons on the outside where you have Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. They had a really good tight end. They had a capable defense. San Francisco was a better version of this year's Eagles team, in my opinion. And last year, all I heard was, well, I know Kansas City has coach and quarterback, but I like the other team's roster 2 through 53, so I'm picking San Francisco. All right, that's fine. It was a good game. It was a close game. Game went to overtime, but it was the quarterback difference. Both quarterbacks had a chance. Both quarterbacks had a possession. One quarterback got a field goal, and all of us knew, you shouldn't have done that. You should have scored in that scenario because I know 15 on that side. I know they're about to score a touchdown. Now we are here. We are in the third act of this, and you're telling me you're about to be fooled by the same thing again? If you're telling me that the difference for one team is their running back and the difference for the other team is their quarterback, I'm taking the side that has the quarterback. If you're telling me that one team has won 23 of their last 24 games and now you want me to pick against them for game number 25, nah, man, I'm sorry. I got to pick the 23 here. I got to be on that side of the argument. If you were telling me that you think it's going to be a close game and one team has won 17 of those in a row, and now you want to try to guess right when they're going to miss it, hey, you got it. I'm going to continue to be on this side. There's a lot of reasons to pick the Eagles. They are a good football team. If this game was played in paper, if this game was a simulation like you were playing Madden or AI, I can give you reasons to pick the Philadelphia Eagles. But this game is played in real life. This game is played by people. And I've seen that the leaders of the Chiefs have figured out ways to win these kinds of games. And I'm going to trust them in this scenario. So that's number one. For the last 5 Super Bowls, you have needed a quarterback to take your team down the field. I know Patrick Mahomes can do this because he's done it in 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls. I don't know about that other guy. Let me give you another stat about the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's really bad against pressure. This is not an opinion of mine. This is a fact. His yards per attempt when he was not blitzed was 9.3. If you drop back to pass and there's no blitz, Jalen is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He is picking you apart. You want to know what it was when you sent a blitz? It was 4.9. That is a drastic difference. If you look at some of the other advanced metrics, he was 37th in the league in that yards per attempt when a blitz happened. He was the 33rd most sacked quarterback out of 37 who qualified for starts when it comes to sacks in this scenario. He's not good when there's pressure. If there is one thing I know the Chiefs are going to do, it is they are going to blitz defensively. They're going to take their chances on defense because that's what Spags does. They're going to be disciplined, but they are also going to call that well-timed blitz when you're not supposed to. It's 4th and 5. It's the most important play of the game. You might want to sit back and let Josh Allen make a decision. No, we're going to send our best corner at him to confuse him a little bit and force him to make a very quick decision. I don't trust Jalen Hurts to make quick decisions in this game. I don't. If you were telling me that you're really bad against the blitz and you have one of the more blitz-happy teams you are going up against in this game and their defense is fully healthy, I'm going to take my chances with Kansas City. I looked it up earlier today because I was genuinely curious. Hey, when was the last couple of times that someone beat Kansas City? And more specifically, how did they do it? I knew the teams, but I wanted to go back and see the how. So I disregarded the Broncos game for very obvious reasons. The last 2 times that Kansas City has lost, they lost to Buffalo in the regular season. Patrick Mahomes threw for less than 200 yards, and the Chiefs did not have a player who had more than 50 yards from scrimmage. If you think that Patrick Mahomes is playing poorly in this game, then pick Philadelphia. If you think that that defense is going to slow down Patrick Mahomes and he's not going to have an effective day, pick Philadelphia. But you're going to have to play really, really well in order for Pat to not play well in this game. He's got his full complements of weapon. The offensive line is now settled in as you've had this same 5 now for 2 months. This is the best version of the Kansas City Chiefs at any point we have seen this season. They are completely healthy, locked in. They got everybody on board for this game. So the last time they lost, Mahomes was not good. If Patrick Mahomes throws for 180 yards on Sunday, they probably going to lose. Let's go to the other time that they lost. It was on Christmas back in, 2023 is when it would have been, I believe. Mahomes played poorly. They also gave up 2 defensive touchdowns. They gave up a pick 6 and a fumble 6, and they did that on back-to-back drives. That might actually be the last time that the home team got booed. Some of y'all booed Patrick Mahomes that day. You usually don't do that. They kind of warranted it that time to get booed on Christmas. You spent all this money to come out here. You dressed up like Santa, and they giving up pick 6s and fumbles to Aiden O'Connell. I probably would have joined you participating in the boo. If you were going to beat the Chiefs, you were going to have to knock them out. You're not going to beat them on points. You're not going to beat them on some technicality. No, you are going to have to flat out go out there and force the Chiefs to play poorly in order to beat them. I don't know if I trust Philadelphia to do this. I want to play this really quickly. It is from Elliott Shore Parks. He joined us on the show yesterday, and he is the Eagles insider. He is picking Philadelphia to win this game. Certainly makes sense. I cover the Chiefs. I'm picking the Chiefs. He covers the Eagles. He's picking the Eagles. I get that. This was part of his reasoning for why he is picking Philadelphia to win the Super Bowl.
I think they're dead even. Like the Eagles, even at quarterback, even at head coach. I think the roster, the Eagles probably have better skill players, but I think Kansas City obviously is a team that has a ton of talent and wins all the time. So for me, it comes down to who's more likely to make the mistake. And this is probably where we'll disagree, but I just don't see the Eagles make mistakes to lose games. It just rarely happens this season. In fact, I can only think of one time it happened this season. So both teams, I think it'll be very close. I think, wouldn't surprise me if this game went to overtime, but I'll just bank on the Eagles making one less mistake. And so I would pick the Eagles to win this game about 33-30.
I just don't see that happening. I don't see Kansas City making the costly mistake that would beat them when the Chiefs have not made the costly mistake that would beat them in a year and a half. Maybe Philadelphia wins this game, and I've just got it wrong. I'm just seeing it wrong. I feel pretty confident about this one, though. I trust Kansas City against Jalen Hurts. I trust their ability to create pressure and disruption for Jalen Hurts. Andy Reid, when he has extra time to prepare, is the best coach in league history by the numbers. I am looking at a team that has the clear quarterback and coach advantage in this game. I think it is going to take a very, very special effort to stop Kansas City from what seems like it has been their number one goal. The image of Patrick Mahomes standing on the podium, the confetti falling from the ground, and he is standing there still in his game uniform and telling Travis Kelce, I want 3, and telling Chris Jones, I need you to re-sign in free agency. I need you to come back. We need to win 3 of those. Everything the Chiefs have wanted for the last year, it has worked out for them. Even when something went wrong, it worked out for them. They lost their number 1 wide receiver. Oh, yeah, we'll go pick up DeAndre Hopkins. They lost their number 1 running back. We'll bring back Kareem Hunt. Their second best corner broke his ankle. He came back like 5 weeks later. Everything that the Chiefs have tried and attempted, it has just simply worked. And now you were telling me when they are right there on the doorstep, they are about to knock on the door, you think they're going to fall? It's just hard for me to be on that side. I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. I feel very confident about Kansas City heading into this game. I've told you guys this all week. When the Chiefs are healthy, you just don't beat them. When they lost to Buffalo earlier in the year, Chiefs weren't healthy in that game. Chiefs didn't have Isaiah Pacheco. Chiefs didn't have Jalen Watson. Chiefs didn't have Charles Omenihu in that game. That was not the full, complete version of Kansas City. They were like 85% healthy. That was not the full version of the Kansas City Chiefs. They have the full version of the Chiefs. The Chiefs have played 2 games since Christmas, and Valentine's Day is next week. They've played 2 games over the last 6 weeks of football. They're coming in fully healthy. I cannot pick the other team. I don't care who that other team is. The only team I might pick in this scenario might be the 2007 New England Patriots that we've seen over the last 15 years or so. I'm taking the Chiefs to win this game. All right, Rob, let's get to the hits.
Your workday is over. Oh, yeah. You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington, the hits are brought to you by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu.
All right, let me take over the hits today. Rob, let me ask you a couple of questions. So I want you to give me your dark horse candidate for Super Bowl MVP. These are the 3 most popular bets: Patrick Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts. Certainly makes sense. Both teams' quarterback and Saquon Barkley, who has been the best player on the Eagles this season. But you got a couple of other options. Travis Kelce right now is at 15-1. Xavier Worthy is at 30-1. A.J. Brown is 35-1, so on and so forth. If you had to give me a dark horse candidate on who you think could win Super Bowl MVP that is not one of the 3 obvious picks, who would you lay let's say a $10, $20 long shot bet?
Chris Jones. We have seen defensive players win MVP before in the Super Bowl. Von Miller, Larry Brown. We saw, I think it was Dexter Jackson for the Bucs did that year. It may have been Derek Brooks. I know it was a defensive player that year for the Bucs. They have won Super Bowl MVP. How have they done it? It's been low-scoring games where the defense has been disruptive. I don't think that's the game script. But if this game is low-scoring it's because it's a defense-first battle. And if it's a defense-first battle, Chris Jones is dominating the game. He has dominated almost every game this postseason and is the singular reason why – singular is unfair. He's one of the major reasons why the tush push for the Bills failed 2 weeks ago. I could see a scenario where he has a sack and a half against a beat-up interior Philadelphia offensive line, and maybe in a marquee 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, he makes another tush-push type stop against the unstoppable play, and people are talking about just how dominant 95 was. I think if you're looking for an off-the-board, dark horse, hey, I'll bet $10 to win a big number, Chris Jones has got to be that player.
You know what? I'm actually going to go the other side, and I'm going to say an Eagles player. I'm going to give you Devontae Smith at 66-1. Devontae Smith has played well in every game he has gone up against Kansas City. Every game. Could I see a scenario in which the Chiefs do a decent job against Saquon Barkley? He is not great, but he plays fine. Saquon Barkley has 21 carries for 95 yards in the game. He plays fine. He's okay. Could I see that scenario and Jalen Hurts maybe throws a couple of touchdowns to Devontae Smith? I told you guys yesterday, I don't really see too many scenarios in which a Chiefs player gets the award that's not Patrick Mahomes. Like, you have to score a touchdown on defense, I think, to be able to get it. But if the Eagles do win this game, could I see their best wide receiver for the day winning the award? Jalen Hurts doesn't have a great day, but he throws a couple of touchdown passes to Devontae Smith. He has 7 catches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Devontae Smith wins Super Bowl MVP. I would lay something very, very small on it at 66-1. If you gave me a free bet and said throw it out there on something, I would probably throw it out there on that. I'll take Devontae Smith at 66-1 as a dark horse Super Bowl MVP candidate. All right, Rob, what's number 2?
Number 2.
All right, number 2, as we are going through the hits. Rob, I want you to throw out a potential X factor because we have seen in these games, somebody usually makes a play. Whether it was in the first Super Bowl when Sammy Watkins had that big catch down the sideline against Richard Sherman. Whether it was in, 2 Super Bowls ago against the Eagles, Sky Moore scored a touchdown. Kadarius Toney scored a touchdown and had the longest kick return in league history, or in Super Bowl history. Last year, we saw McCole Hardman score the game-winning touchdown and turn into a celebrity overnight. If you were picking the Chiefs to win, somebody from the Justin Watson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Noah Gray, Leo Chenal, one of those guys ends up making a play. Who do you think that could be?
Noah Gray. Noah Gray is my solution. Nate Taylor was on this show earlier today. Catch that on the podcast page. And he was talking about how the Eagles defense is better than the Eagles defense the Chiefs faced in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. More playmakers, younger, faster. But he said they still can't cover the tight end. Now, everyone hears that and thinks, oh, Travis Kelce. And you should. He's probably the greatest tight end in the history of the National Football League. But Andy Reid did not get 2 weeks to scheme up plays exclusively for 87. He's going to do more than just get one guy open. I understand Noah Gray's usage has fallen off since Xavier Worthy has become a more large part of the offense, but Noah Gray feels like that dark horse. Remember the game in Buffalo, he had a touchdown catch. I'm going to say Noah Gray as my off-the-wall X-Factor, makes a play type of guy.
I'm going to throw Juju Smith-Schuster as that player for me. We've seen him step up big in Chiefs postseason games. He had 60 yards receiving in the last Super Bowl between these two teams. He had 60 yards receiving in the AFC Championship game. We know there's a lot of trust there between he and Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to take Juju Smith-Schuster as a potential X factor, a guy who could make a play in this year's Super Bowl that could end up turning things for the Chiefs. Give me Juju Smith-Schuster. Hit number 3.
Number 3.
All right, coming up in just a bit, I'll give you 5 Chiefs bets that I really like. But before we do this, Rob, what's your number one thing that you need for a Super Bowl function? I imagine you're going somewhere this weekend. Maybe you're hosting this weekend. I don't know. But for me, I love a good buffalo chicken dip. Call me straightforward. I told you the Super Bowl is not the time to be running trick plays. It ain't the time to be running end arounds. I'm running a Tecmo Super Bowl playbook. I'm running the same 6 to 8 plays. Give me pizza, give me wings, give me the buffalo chicken dip. Let me go ahead and grab a Quirk. Let me grab a Boulevard Wheat if you got one. Let me get a Chips Ahoy Chewy cookie. I'm good. I'm not here to try your little tater tot casserole or whatever nonsense you got going on over there. I don't need your themed food for the Super Bowl. No, stick to the hits. I feel like John Voight in Varsity Blues. Stick to the basics. You're trying to run the oop-de-oop during the Super Bowl meal. I don't need you running the oop-de-oop. Give me a good buffalo chicken dip.
Buffalo chicken dip is elite. I'm going to stay in that same lane, but it's a little bit different. We talked about this earlier this week on the show. Basically, we've covered everything possible at the Super Bowl on the show. Weird because the Chiefs are in it. Give me Rotel. Rotel is perfect in these moments because you lay your plate, you got some chips, you coat it on, you go back to your seat, and you can watch the game. You're good to the next commercial break. If you're hungry, house them real quick, and you're fine. If you want to nosh, just take a few chips at a time, work through it. You can conversate, talk to people. They can last 2 or 3 commercial breaks if you need. But Rotel is perfect in these moments. If you prefer a queso or a white cheese dip, that's cool too. Any sort of nacho style thing in this moment is perfect because it is going to be filling and it's going to be versatile with timeline to get it eaten. If you bring wings over to the couch and you have 3 or 4 wings and you eat them real quick, now you're sitting there hungry. You can't leave in the middle of the game. You can time it out better when you have a nice Rotel or queso dip. That's a must in the Brenton household.
All right, coming up on the other side, let's talk about legacy and whose legacy could be most affected by a win in Sunday's Super Bowl. I'm also want to give you guys 5 Chiefs bets that I really, really like for Super Bowl 59. That's coming up next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Do you know your ash from your barrel and current? It's the ABCs of fire extinguishers. Class A is for fires involving combustible materials that would turn to ash. Class B is for fires involving flammable liquids that could be stored in a barrel. Class C is for current, for electrical fires. ABC, ash barrel current. Is your business properly equipped to protect your property and people from any type of fire? Call Keller.
Keller Fire and Safety.
KellerFire.com.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
I got hurt in a car wreck. Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons you should call us? 1, it's easy. You can hire us today on your phone. 2, it's fast. We can start helping you today. 3, the results.
After my wreck, DM Law got me $200,000. Mike's got this.
Call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
When a KU versus K-State rivalry game begins, emotions run high, legends are created, school pride hangs in the balance, memories that last a lifetime will be made, because each game is the most important game in history. At least, until the next one. Get in the game with your chance to win up to $50,000. The Rivalry Riches instant ticket from the Kansas Lottery. See kslottery.com for details.
When you have an expert financial partner invested in you, you can't help but feel like a star. Like the new graduate opening their first investment account, the small business owner proudly adding a new location, or the young couple buying their first home. At Community America, we're invested in helping members achieve financial peace of mind with products and services tailored to each stage of life. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
This Valentine's Day, shop at Hellsberg and get up to 50% off select jewelry, like a diamond pendant that says,
"I'm so lucky I met you."
A stunning engagement ring to say,
"Let's make this day unforgettable."
Or an anniversary band to tell them,
10 years, and we still got it.
Come to Hellsberg this Valentine's and get up to 50% off select jewelry and engagement rings. A perfect gift designed with the love and care worthy of your story. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I think my battery's dead.
With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one?
We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery?
We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Tackle your airport parking needs at Park & Go. Always the best service and always the best price at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7 and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and operated.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Stalled car stopping traffic southbound 71, the exit to 63rd Street, and another stalled car westbound 70, the exit to 40 Highway eastbound. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's Hollywood Brown. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Coming up in just a bit, if you missed Christopher Mad Dog Russo, we'll play the best of that conversation for you in our final segment of the day. I want you to hear what the legendary sports talk host Mad Dog Russo had to say about Sunday's Super Bowl. We'll get to that coming up in just a bit. Before we do that, a couple of things. A lot of the conversation this week has been about legacy. I think Patrick Mahomes has a chance to go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. Now, his story is maybe halfway done, but we still got a long way to go in watching his career unfold. So we got time. But I've been pretty consistent on this. Mahomes is going to have to do things that Tom Brady never did. He's going to have to do things to overcome the fact that, at least for right now, 2 of his 3 postseason losses have come directly at the hands of Tom Brady. Tom went into your house and beat you in the AFC Championship game. He also gave you a pretty handsome defeat in the Super Bowl. He also won MVP that year. So Mahomes is phenomenal, but he is trying to build a resume right now towards being the greatest of all time. I think that Andy Reid has a chance to go down as at least being considered the greatest coach in the, modern era, salary cap era. A lot of people would consider that to be Bill Belichick. I saw how that went when he didn't have Tom Brady. He wasn't super great with the Cleveland Browns. He wasn't super great whenever Tom left. I saw that Tom could do it without you. I didn't really see that other way around. I've seen Andy do it in multiple stops. I saw him do it in Philadelphia, taking that team to the Super Bowl. I saw him have great success in Kansas City before Mahomes got there. And then when Mahomes showed up and you put Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre together, they made the Chronic. And that is what the Chiefs are currently doing right now. It is a classic body of work that is going to stand the test of time. But I actually think that the player that has the most, to gain from a legacy perspective, I actually think it's Saquon Barkley. I think that this game for Saquon is the difference in you being Sean Alexander or you being Terrell Davis. Sean Alexander was incredible. Ran for 2,000 yards, won NFL MVP. Sean Alexander is one of the better backs of the 2000s. He has absolutely no chance of making the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's not even a player we talk about when the conversation gets brought up. He ain't making it. And that's fine. He'll go down as a Seahawks Hall of Famer. We all remember the great running back that he was. Shaun Alexander was a beast. He ain't getting that gold jacket, though. If Saquon finishes this thing and he runs for 150 yards on Sunday, has a couple of touchdowns, wins Super Bowl MVP, Saquon Barkley will go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the season he has just put together. He has been one of the better backs of his generation, and he was the best player on a championship team. If you think back the last 15 years or so, and I ask you, hey, who was the best player on that team? And you gave me your answer, that guy's probably going to the Hall of Fame. It's really hard to win the Super Bowl. It's hard to be the best player on a Super Bowl team. So if Saquon can do it, I think he is the most to gain from a legacy standpoint. Mahomes' legacy, I don't want to say is complete, but we at least know what the floor is for Mahomes' legacy. He could decide that he's just done playing football. Mahomes goes down as an undeniable top 5, probably top 3 quarterback in the history of the league. Travis Kelce, you can't be higher than what people consider you to be, the greatest tight end of all time. Andy's place seems like it's solidified for the most part. He obviously can move up a little bit. If Saquon can do this, you go from one of the great running backs to one of the greatest running backs of all time if the Eagles win this. I think he benefits the most from a legacy standpoint. Let me give you guys 5 Chiefs bets that I really, really like for Sunday. I know you. You're going to be scouring the app looking for what to play. And this is where I come in. I'm somebody that likes to help people. I'm a giver. I'm going to give you these picks free of charge. You don't got to sign up to any Discord. You don't got to hit me up. Oh, hey, what do you think? You know what? I'm going to give you the plays that I really like, plays that I have taken for myself. I don't give you anything that I wouldn't play. I wouldn't do that to you. I want you to make money. I want to make money. Let's make money together because trust me, they're trying to give it away to you this week for the Super Bowl. Hit me. This is the bet that I like the most on Sunday from either team. This is the bet that I like the most. Give me Samaje Perine over on receiving yards. I can't believe that his number is so low. Samaje Perine's over-under right now on receiving yards is 7.5. Folks, he has hit this in 9 of the last 10 Chiefs games. Take this number. You got to. Look at what he did in the AFC Championship game. 1 catch, 17 yards. One little catch out of the backfield, make one guy miss, move the sticks, move the chains. Samaje Perine and that Jerick McKinnon, Damian Williams catch the ball out of the backfield roll. Give me Samaje Perine's over 7.5. Go ahead and take that to the window. I also like Kareem Hunt. I don't think the book has caught up, and I think you can take advantage. Give me Kareem Hunt over 11.5 carries in this game. I think they use him like he's their number 1 running back because he is their number 1 running back. I think we see Kareem Hunt get 13 to 16 carries in the game, and you can get the over at plus money. I'm always down to take plus money from the casino. You don't get that very often for plays that you like. So give me the over for Kareem Hunt. I'm going to take it. It is 11.5 right now. I'm on the opposite side of Isaiah Pacheco. I'm fading him right now. I'm just not a believer. I think the Chiefs have made their decision. They had a drive in the Houston game where they tried to give Pacheco the ball 2 out of their first 3 touches. They lost a yard. They have been moving away from Isaiah Pacheco ever since. How many times do you think he touches the ball on Sunday? 5, maybe 6? He's not averaging 5 yards a touch right now. I think you got to take the under. I'm taking the under on Isaiah Pacheco, 30.5 yards. Go ahead and give me less than that. Let me give you 2 touchdown plays that I really like. Kareem Hunt, plus 125. The first bet I placed on the Super Bowl was this one. It was the first one I placed. I love to look at the touchdown odds, and I like to get plus money. I'm not paying you the juice on who's going to score a touchdown. You're telling me that there's no Chiefs player that's I got to pay the juice on? Then I'll take their number 1 running back. You know the Chiefs are going to be in a short yardage situation. The short yardage back is Kareem Hunt. They love a first and goal from the 2-yard line, turn around and give it to 2-7, and he finds his way into the end zone. He scored a touchdown in their last 4 games. He scores a touchdown in this game. You know they already got the package put together. This is the Super Bowl. They can't wait to tell you a story about Kareem Hunt and some redemption. It's a television show. Kareem Hunt in the end zone, plus 125. Go grab it on the app. I'm also going to take Xavier Worthy. Take the Chiefs' best offensive skill position player. Don't overthink this. He can give you a rushing touchdown. He can give you a receiving touchdown. It's plus money. It honestly might be the best bet of the entire Super Bowl is Xavier Worthy to get into the end zone at plus money. You're not getting plus money for the two big dogs on Philadelphia's team. Maybe you like Devontae Smith. I actually do like him to score a touchdown in this game. I like Xavier Worthy to score 1-2. You can get him right now at plus 150, plus 155, depending on where you are. So those are my 5 favorite Chiefs bets. I'm picking the Chiefs to win, so let me give you my 5 favorite bets. Samaje Perine over 7.5 receiving yards. Kareem Hunt over 11.5 carries. Under on Isaiah Pacheco yards from scrimmage at 30.5. And I got Xavier Worthy and Kareem Hunt scoring a touchdown. Coming up on the other side, if you missed it, we're going to play the best of Christopher Mad Dog Russo, getting you ready for Super Bowl 57. That's next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The big game is right around the corner. There's no better place to watch the game at than with my friends over at The Other Place with 5 locations around Kansas City. It is the one-of-a-kind game day experience. It's the next best thing of actually being able to go down to New Orleans, and they've got some incredible specials. 14-inch 2-topping pizza for just $12. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12. So if you want a one-of-a-kind game day experience and you want to catch the big game, stop by and see my friends over at The Other Place.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As of 9 a.m. this morning, our EV trucking company is officially in operation.
Andrew's zero-emission trucks are driving the transportation category forward.
We'll make driving safer, easier, and less stressful. Now our technology needs to keep up with demand.
He needs to put pedal to the metal on hiring more software engineers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Fellas, are you feeling sluggish, maybe a bit tired, or just not feeling like yourself? Maybe your workouts aren't producing the results that they used to, and you're not getting that great quality sleep. If you're noticing changes, then it could be low testosterone. Low T affects more than just your energy levels. It can impact everything from your workout performance to the intimacy in your relationship. Well, here's some great news. Heartland Men's Health is here to help you. It's simple to get started. Take a quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com to see if you might have low T. Then schedule a $99 consultation where you'll get lab work and results in just 30 minutes. And if you sign up for treatment, then your visit is free. Don't wait any longer. Feel like yourself today. Call Heartland Men's Health, your partner in better health. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. Heartland Men's Health, Kansas City's trusted choice for low T treatment.
Kansas City is gearing up for their 3rd straight championship title game, and Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything you need to rep your team during their historic run. Swing by your local Academy store today or shop online at academy.com to find officially licensed team gear in game-changing styles, from jerseys and tees to hoodies and hats, all at prices you'll love. Get the best KC gear for the biggest game of the year. Shop Nike, 47 brand, and more Kansas City styles at Academy.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Attention homeowners, it's February at Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Get a free furnace and smart thermostat with the purchase of select new cooling systems. That's right, purchase a new system from the pros at Hamilton and get a furnace and smart thermostat absolutely free. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2024-11121.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Right now, get up to a $15 gift card after rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Emergency vehicles on the left shoulder tending to a collision on the Metro Southwest side, southbound 35 just past 95th Street. Look for slowdowns there. And a 2-car crash closing the left lane in the downtown loop, westbound 670 just past Genesee. Big savings are rolling in at Metro Ford. Get $12,000 off new 24 Expeditions and up to $10,000 off 24 Escapes. Looking for an F-150? They've got the best selection in the city. Plus, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Stop by Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence or visit kcmetroford.com today. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's Trey Smith. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 965thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Earlier today, we got a chance to catch up with one of the more recognizable voices in sports talk radio, Christopher Mad Dog Russo. You can hear him on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. You can also watch him on Wednesdays on First Take. I asked him, if the Chiefs win, is this the greatest dynasty we have ever seen? Here's what he said.
Well, I don't quite look at it that way. I will put Mahomes there. Remember, the Steelers had 9, 10 Hall of Famers. Pittsburgh, Green Bay, and you got to count them too. They won 5 in 9 years with Lombardi. They had 1 million Hall of Famers. San Francisco had 1 million Hall of Famers, and they also had Young, who won a Super Bowl after Montana. Brady, they had Belichick, speaks for itself, and the way they won, the gap in between. How many Hall of Famers do the Chiefs have on their team? Kelsey's a Hall of Famer. Chris Jones is probably going to Hall of Fame, and Mahomes is a Hall of Famer. That's it. Nobody else. They have 3. Pittsburgh had Webster and Stallworth and Swan and Bradshaw and Franco and Lambert and Mean Joe Green and L.C. Greenwood and Mel Blunt. Green Bay, the whole offensive line, Starr, Horning, Jim Taylor, the head coach. Now, Smith Reed's going too, but Lombardi, Dave Robinson, Herb Adderley, Nitsky, Henry, the lineman, the defensive end. They had so many guys going to the Hall of Fame. The Patriots didn't have a lot. It was Brady, basically a lot of Brady and Belichick. And the Chiefs only have 3. So I look at this Chief dominance more relatable with the QB than I do with the franchise. Because without Mahomes, I don't know how many, they're not going to win any. Pittsburgh almost won they had Gilliam, they had Hanratty, They had 1 year he didn't play. They had Tom Zach. They were great. They had the best defense I've ever seen. I mean, Brady, they wouldn't have won without Brady. Montana had Young. Packers had Bratkowski, who won playoff games, and Bart Starr was hurt. It's a little different. So I agree you can put the Chiefs on that level, but the Chiefs, as far as their greatness is concerned, to me as a fan, is about their quarterback. It's not about the team itself. It's about the quarterback, because this quarterback is most responsible for their run. Packers could have won without Starr. The Niners did win without Montana. The Steelers, without defense, could have beaten anybody. Bradshaw, they won their first 2 Super Bowls with defense. They could have won without Bradshaw. The Chiefs could not have won without Mahomes. That's where I look at it from a differential standpoint. So I like those other teams better because it's more about the franchise. To me, the Chiefs are more about the QB.
Right now, we're talking to Christopher Mad Dog Russo. He joins us on the show. You can catch him every day on Sirius XM Channel 82 and Mad Dog Sports Radio. You can also catch him Wednesdays on ESPN's First Take. The last time you joined us to get ready for the AFC Championship game, you mentioned that Mahomes was the greatest quarterback you've ever seen. Let's talk about the head coach, and a lot of people consider Bill Belichick to be the greatest coach of all time. Certainly understandable with the amount of championships that he has. But we've also seen Belichick, aside from Brady, and the results have been very mixed. I think that Reed, if this team can win this Super Bowl and can continue their success, we saw Reed do it in Philadelphia. We've seen him do it in Kansas City. He has a very, very high floor. I actually think there could be an argument by the time that Andy Reid is done that he is the greatest coach of all time.
I think the greatest coach of all time is Lombardi. I don't think he only coached 9 years and he won 5 championships. One of those years was with Washington. He was struck down at 57 years of age. Lombardi took a team in Green Bay that the ingredients were already there. Remember, Horning was there. Jim Taylor was there. Starr was there. Nitsky was there. And before Lombardi took over in 58, they were 110-1. So to me, the best nobody, and they named their Super Bowl trophy after him. To me, nobody, and then Lombardi had to win the most pressurized game in the history of the NFL. That 66 Super Bowl he had to win because it was the NFL against the AFL. He had to win that game, and he didn't win it. He killed the Chiefs. He is, to me, number one. Now, a lot of people disagree, and Belichick is in the mix, and Paul Brown, too, and you're 100% right on Reed. You got to put Bill Walsh in there. Andy, at the end of the day, is going to be in that category. He's in there right now. At the end of the day, he will be, somewhere, if he stays and they win a couple of more, he'll be somewhere in that 5 or 6 category. Belichick didn't win in Cleveland, didn't win without Brady. Reed got to a Super Bowl without Mahomes, got to plenty of championship game in Philly without Mahomes. Donovan McNabb was not a great quarterback, so I have no problem of where you want to put Reed. Now, I'm not putting him number 1. That I'm not doing. I don't think, it's the West Coast offense. Walsh invented it. I think Walsh and Belichick and Brown and Lombardi, I think those 4 would not be touched. But I'm not going to count Hallis. He was an owner, so I'm going to leave him out of it. I'm not putting Gibbs or Parcells in there, or Chuck Noll, or Shula, or Landry. But Landry's consistency is tremendous. Shula won the most games. But if you want to put Reed at the end of the day somewhere in that 5 area, I have no problem with it. None. He might even be there now if you wanted to argue. He's that good. I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. But I don't think, in my eyes, as a football fan, I'm not Brown, who invented the way the coaching worked, film work, and how Brown organized and 10 straight championship games. Otto Graham, nobody's better than Brown's great. Lombardi's great. Belichick is Belichick. He went to whatever. He went 9 Super Bowls. He won 6. And he drafted Brady. And, Reed drafted Mahomes.
Most people think that this game is going to be close. It's going to be a 28-24 game on either side. We both obviously feel very confident if, let's say, Kansas City is down 27-23, Mahomes has the ball, and he has to put a drive together to go win the game. We have seen Patrick in enough of those situations to know that Kansas City is going down and getting points. Let me ask you that question about Philadelphia. Where's your confidence level in Jalen Hurts? If he needs to orchestrate a drive to put Philadelphia in range to win, do you think he can do it?
That's an excellent question. And I think in a lot of ways you put the game in the proper context. Listen, one of these days, they won 17 one-possession games. And I'm not sure, to answer your question, if Hurts can do it. We haven't seen him do it. I do think he could have driven down the field and kicked the game-tying field goal if he had that chance 2 years ago, and he didn't because they ran out the clock and kicked the field goal to win it. But one of these days, Mahomes is going to lose one of these games. The ball is not going to scrape off the upright like the Charger game. They're not going to block a game-ending kick against Denver. They're going to grant him the first down, and it was the right call. I'm not arguing that. But, it could have gone either way. They're going to grant him the first down on a 4th and an inch play where, maybe Mahomes falls down by 2 scores, as could have happened 2 weeks ago. There's going to be a ball deflected at the line of scrimmage where, it gets picked off. Or, he throws a ball that, that gets dropped late. I mean, one of these days, the magic won't be there for Kansas City. That's just, it's the rule of sports. Even the Yankees lost in the 50s. Mazeroski hit a home run in 1960. Jordan didn't lose, but, the one player in the NFL and the NBA can dominate when he started to win. But, Golden State won 73 games and got beat by a block shot. One of these days, the Chiefs are going to, whatever that might be, they're going to lose one. I'm not saying it's going to be Sunday, but one of these days, it's not going to go on forever. They're going to lose one of these close games, and we all know they've won 1 million of these close games, and they have been at times fortunate. Now, having said that, if it is 27-23 Kansas City, and it's Eagle ball late, and they got to go the length of the field against Spagnuolo, Buffalo, listen, Kincaid's got to catch the ball. I mean, let's be honest. That ball has to be. You're going to beat the Chiefs. That ball has to be caught. And if he did catch it, they at least would have been in an overtime, I would think. But we haven't seen Hurts do that. You're 100% right. He's played well. He's a good quarterback. He's not a special quarterback. And to do that, you got to be special. We don't know if he's got that gene in him. Because at 27-23, you're probably not going to be able to rely on Barkley. He's going to have to, throw the ball down the field and complete passes and register a touchdown. And that's asking a lot. So if it comes down to that, big edge Kansas City.
That was Christopher Mad Dog Russo joining us on the show earlier today. If you want to catch that conversation,